welcome, avast and ahoy once again to ye mateys. I be your sniffly and unwell DM Josh the Pirate, and it brings me quite a bit of pleasure to welcome you back to Corsair's Cove and Humblewood. Whee! Above me, I have the opinionated Karen Schlink, the catabatic Brendan Ellis, the perilous lurker D-Rab himself, and the talented and multilingual Daria, surname redacted, who did most of our channel art, including the new Bennick portrait. Check that shit out. So let's talk about these wonderful people, shall we? The opinionated Karen, who the heck are you?
I am a person who believes in the healing power of naps. That's my opinion for the night.
Valid.
Hashtag more naps, more life. I am a performer, a writer, a puppeteer. I can be found on Twitter under Mother of Bunnies. After Saturday, I probably won't be tweeting about politics anymore, which would be nice. But I don't know. We'll see. You can also follow my sultry burlesque alter ego, Miss Lola Moore, over on Instagram. Or you can listen to my dulcet tones on the There Be Dragons podcast. Link in chat. New episode dropping, I think, tomorrow. It's already out on Patreon, so I think it's dropping for everybody else tomorrow.
Cool.
I think. I apologize if I lied to you. I don't mean to.
Excellent. Karen, thank you so much. Brendan, who the absolute heck are you?
Apart from being a wind that moves down a slope because of cooling, especially at night, I am, and I forgot that definition, so I had to Google it again. I am an actor and director in Perth. I'm Brensa in chat, shitposting, and I do this every week, which is pretty poggy.
Dan, who the heck are you?
It's me. Hello, I am Dan in the meat space, D-Rab in the cyberspace. Aside from that, you can't find me anywhere because I lurk, and also I agree on the healing power of naps, because during naps, you thin the veil between the conscious and the unconscious, and now you'll be open to the good vibes and good rest. You will not escape it.
You have such a lovely voice, Dan. It's really upsetting that you're saying so very scary things.
It sounds like good naps are just sneaking up behind you with a cloth.
Yeah, two things never change. How intimidating Dan's good vibes are and how awkward Brendan's poggies are. These two things are stable.
Pog constant.
Oh, pog. All right, Daria, who the heck are you?
Yeah, I'm also here. I'm an artist. Talented, maybe. Multilingual. Yeah. I'm barely bilingual, so let's not go that far. And I hang out here, and I hang out at the Elder Scribe campaign, which is also on Twitch. And we play D&D, and sometimes I do art, like here and somewhere else probably. And yeah, that's me.
Excellent. And Madame et Monsieur, Dame und Herren and beings of indeterminate gender and persuasion, I be Josh the Pirate. You can find me here. This morning, you could have found me on Ardent Roleplay, where I was playing with Robert Hartley, GM, in a charity one-shot in which we raised over $500 for Jasper's Game Day and Beyond Blue, which is freaking dope. You and a few of you did find me on Tuesday doing the same thing, where I was running the game and Robert Hartley was playing, and that was very fun too, and we raised another $500 towards Beyond Blue. It was very, very cool. I was also on Phoenix U Wacky, but all of this is in the past. In the future, who knows? I'll be playing a game on Ordana soon. We have yet to finalize dates for that one, but otherwise you can find me here on my channel where I run D&D, but you've done that. Good job. Keep doing it. Other than that, I'm a member of the There Be Dragons podcast. We're a fantasy gunpowder D&D game where I play the infamous and deadly pirate Scan Felspar and his little dragon, Rush. Poggy vibes. Hey, Bishop Blood, good to see you. Captain Kazi, thanks very much for joining us as well. Thank you for your assistance early in chat. Spina, it is lovely to see you. So today, guys and ladies, we will be doing table talks. We're going to be just chatting about the season that was so far, yeah, because Dan and I are both a bit under the weather, and Karen's heading that same direction. So yeah, we're just taking a bit of a chill night. So if you have any questions for the cast or for the characters, they can break character and look off into the void and answer your burning questions. Also, do not forget to smash that follow button and check out our socials. The exclamation mark socials are there. We have the exclamation mark YouTube, which is pretty much up to date. And new, we have the Discord. Woot woot. There it is. You can now join us on our Discord. Just for you, Spina. Spina has already joined us on our Discord.
I have a Discord-related question. Is it possible to turn on notifications for specific things in Discord?
Quite possibly.
Yes.
Because I basically turned Discord notifications off because I was being notified about everything.
Yeah.
You can
that's
like
very
pinpoint and like do only
Yeah.
mentions or.
I'm just like, can I only be notified if things I actually care about are happening? As opposed to every time someone sneezes in an obscure part of a server I'm in, I have to know about it.
Problem is, yeah,
That
when
can
you
be
run a
done,
channel,
yes.
you want to be in a lot of other Discords so that you can promote
I'm
yourself.
fine with being in the Discords, but you know, I have trouble replying to messages as it is. So if I'm getting like 10,000 notifications,
Yeah.
99% of which do
Karen.
not
So are,
Like
are
apply
you
to me?
telling me that if someone sneezes in Discord, you don't answer bless you?
Oh, here's
No,
the real
I
table
say,
talks now.
I say pog you.
Okay, I mean that's all good.
Yeah, that's the correct usage, I believe.
One of my
Oh,
favorite
get the fuck
things,
away from me, you
One of my
you
favorite things
disgusting
about this
germ
game
spreader.
is Brendan's laughs.
A child
I
coughed
mean,
in your
true,
class,
true.
Josh. They're like, and we're like,
Psst, chat, ask who is in the bird cult, Josh. He won't be able to ignore you. Yeah, no.
I think we're all in the bird cult on a spiritual level.
Oh no, that's concerning for the people in the party who are humble folk.
Bennick is definitely not bird folk. Bird cult.
Yeah.
Eric definitely is.
Bennick,
Yeah.
Eric was probably signed up when he was about 3 months old. Does not remember, but he is technically.
Yeah.
It's like baptism.
I don't even know.
No,
here.
it's like Article 44 in Australian legislation.
I feel like Eric is like legacy admissions
Brendan
to the
gets it.
cult.
Yeah.
Like his family all there, so why not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like
tradition.
if he's not in the cult, his grandma's going to send a sternly worded letter about it at some point.
To the cult,
She's already
to
doing
Eric,
that.
to everyone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, why is my grandson not in the cult?
And also, could you please drink this vial? I promise it's not poison.
It's the blood of my savior. And here is the body.
Cult.
Our Lord and Savior bird cult.
Bird Jesus.
Bird Jesus. It's just nevermore to us. So,
It's one of the weird things about being raised Catholic is that when you're like old enough for people who aren't Catholic to like ask you questions about being Catholic, and they're like, "So you like believe you're a dead guy?"
his
And
actual body.
I'm like, I'm sorry, what?
It's straight up cannibalism.
It's like,
Like, 'cause don't you literally believe it's the body and blood of Christ? And me being, you know, quite a naive Catholic was like, I don't think so. But yes, that is what you're supposed to actually believe.
It's literally
and I
the
just,
belief.
yeah, and I just blithely assumed that we all weren't that insane.
No.
Yeah. So, as I've talked about over the last few weeks, I've just finished directing a show called The Last Days of Judas Iscariot, which
Never heard of it.
obviously is very heavily involved in religion. And I was meeting up with a musician friend of mine to score something for a couple of scenes. And he said, look, I really don't know anything about religion. I'm like, yeah, okay, I've heard that before. And he goes, and so we're discussing some of the scenes, and he goes, no, wait a second. Can you just explain to me, what did Judas actually do? So
Wow.
I'm like, okay. So I explained how he betrayed him by kissing Jesus, and he's like, okay, and
What?
so Jesus is the same person as God? I'm like, well,
He wasn't lying.
Yes
he does know
and
nothing
no.
of this.
Yeah, really. I'm like, well, yes and no. He's like the physical embodiment on this world, and it was a big deal that he like sacrificed himself to save all of our sins. And he's like, yeah, but didn't he just like get up a few days later? Like, yeah.
He got
Yeah.
better, yeah.
Yeah, got better.
there was a lot of things that I had to explain to him that I realized that I just kind of took for granted as a
Don't
child
think about
being
it
taught all
critically.
of this. Yeah.
No.
Listen, we can all just say he had a long nap.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had
a long rest.
Nice nap.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
To be honest, I also know nothing about this. Like, we are Russia is kind of religious, but all my knowledge about Jesus and his buddies is from two sources, from Master and Margarita, which is like a Russian book, not about religion, kind of, and also from the rock opera. That's where I get all my knowledge, and that's it.
A solid place to learn things. Any things.
I only learned relatively recently that apparently, so obviously the Virgin Mary is the mother of Jesus,
Valid.
but apparently her mother Anne was also born of a virgin birth.
What?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, apparently.
The thing about
So
Mary is she's like free of the original sin.
yeah, so her mother was also conceived without the sexy times, and then she, without having sex. Sorry.
How far do you have to go back of virgins
Mary.
for you to be actually pure, though?
Yeah. So basically, you have to go back. It's basically, we needed 2 virgin births to get to Jesus. And I'm just like, okay, I didn't
I
know
had
that.
no idea about that.
Yeah, how many of them are there in the world? Like, Mary couldn't have been one of a lot of options. Like, God was looking, it's like, wow, there just is not very many kids born of a virgin mother. I mean...
Yeah.
Was God involved? Is God her dad?
Yeah. No. He came to her like, hey, you're the purest, like, bitch.
Because
have
I
a
know,
baby.
because I made you.
But here's the thing, though. If
So
Mary
Jesus
was
is an
also
incest
conceived
baby.
in a virgin birth, that means that God is Mary's dad,
Yeah.
and also Jesus' dad,
Yeah.
and that's incest.
He is not just the father
How
of Christ,
happy
he's
you are
also the
about that.
grandfather of Christ. Yeah. Gnosticism. It sounds whack as well. I quite like the idea that Judas was the good guy because without him, Jesus wouldn't have been crucified. I was like, yeah.
I mean, that's one of the questions that the play asks is, you know,
Judas there going like, hey
if this
guys,
was-
what are you so angry about? He got to die and save us from all of our sins.
Yeah, I mean, if it was all part of the plan, then didn't Judas just play his role in the plan of God's plan? And should Judas be held responsible for,
You know, Brendan, chat like this would have got me kicked out of Sunday school.
It's like, okay, stop asking too many questions. Just go
It's
with
like,
it.
you're
Just
asking too many questions. Like, but I have so
eat
many.
the biscuit and sit back down. Yeah.
Eat the damn basket. Brendan, can you tell me at least one thing? Is there at least one reference to Lady Gaga in your show?
No, unfortunately not, but there was a reference to Celine Dion.
Okay, almost
Lady
as
Gaga
good.
was
Okay,
basically
I'll
the
let
second
you-
coming
I'll
of
let you,
Celine
yeah.
Dion anyway, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
Should we talk about D&D now?
Let's!
Oh, hey!
It went on a wonderful tangent, very interesting. That's what basically table talks are, everybody. It's just the normal cast just talking about whatever takes our fancy. But let's talk about,
Well, we should say that, like, D&D apparently is, you know,
Evil.
the road to Satanism.
incredibly evil.
It's how you,
There's no escape.
yeah, it's how you get into Satanism is playing D&D.
I mean, you may or may not be aware, depending on what kind of circles, D&D related circles you're on the internet, but there are a lot of bitter people who grew up playing D&D in like the 80s who they had to go through all of that with their parents and with people kind of vilifying them.
Yep.
And now D&D is a big popular thing, and there's lots and lots of people who 5e is their first edition of D&D, and they're really bitter about that. Yeah, me too.
Sad.
I know, right?
That's a wild response. Like, maybe be happy, maybe like enjoy the hobby
The
now.
whole satanic panic is wild.
I don't know.
Because
Devil's advocate, I would be pissed too, to be honest. And like in my prime years, I get to miss out because I got cock blocked. into having fun, I'd be
Got Satan
pissed.
blocked.
I mean, I'd be salty about the world, but not the people who enjoy it now. Like, I'd live vicariously through them, and also, hey, new people to have a campaign with.
Yeah, exactly.
Big brain.
Yeah.
It just still blows my mind that we basically spent the 80s panicking about Satanism, and it literally wasn't a thing. Like,
Yeah.
it never existed. We
Well,
made it up.
It's
I'm
a
just
lovely thing now.
It's freaking crazy. And apparently D&D was the way you got into it. And I'm just like, okay, so children wanting to get together and talk about maths involved in slaying dragons and stuff.
Yeah.
That's the path to the devil, that is.
It's really just the name. If they'd called it, I don't know, Quest, for example, wouldn't have been a problem. Wouldn't have been a problem.
Quest.
Fairies and friends.
Yeah, fairies and friends.
Fairies
Which
and
it contain-
friends.
I have only run a
Also-
single adventure that actually contained a proper adult dragon. And very rarely have you guys ever entered a frickin' dungeon. Whereas you have met fairies in my world. There has been a player who was a fairy at one point, and most of us would be broadly described as friends at this point.
Also, at least, guys, you had D&D in the 80s. Like, it got to Russia in, like, middle of 2000s at best. Like, the first thing most people think about when they hear D&D is that fucking episode of the what's the show
Community?
about explosions?
Oh, Mythbusters.
No, not that.
That was my
explosion.
first thought, but I
Where-
was just like, where do they
No,
play D&D and Mythbusters?
No, the guy who says bazinga a lot. What's the show?
Big
Big
Bang.
Bang.
Oh, Big
Oh,
Bang
that,
Theory.
yeah.
Big Bang Theory.
Yeah. So that's the first exposure
Big
people
Bang
got to
explosion.
D&D
Just like...
out here, and that's all bad. It's very bad. So there's not much.
Has anyone seen the Dungeons and Dragons movie with Jeremy Irons?
Yes, and I love it. I love
It
it.
is
All the makeup.
trash. It is amazing.
It's very
And-
good.
I've heard
You
it's
should watch
bad.
it.
Oh,
It's so
awful.
bad. It's good, Brennan. It is like truly,
Yeah.
truly
The
terrible.
lead in it was the paper boy from Clark from Superman and Lois. It was the TV show of Superman.
Is it one of the Wayans brothers in it?
Quite
Was it
possibly.
one of the Wayans brothers in it?
And Jeremy
was-
Irons was the baddie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the
Really
baddie,
slumming it in that
as,
film.
as he always is.
I was just like, "Hey, tell me why you did this movie. Tell me to the nearest digit.
yeah.
Rounded up
Did
to your
you-
nearest whole number and let us know.
Did you know that one of Tom Hanks's first roles in the 80s was in an anti-D&D film where he goes psychotic and believes that D&D is real, and it culminates in him about to jump off of a building because the dungeon master has told him that that's the way to get to his fantasy world.
Yeah, isekai yourself off the bridge, please. And that's it.
What do you mean? There's no truck-kun?
Yeah, there's no truck-kun
Why is
on the
there no
bridge.
truck-kun?
Bridge senpai now.
Bridge
Also-
senpai. He's my new best friend.
Oh, also, if you just Google that D&D film, one of the screenshots will be just beautiful, where there's a bald man with blue lipstick and there's an ear parasite out of his ear. It's very
so
good.
It's so stupid. There are beholders in it that do nothing. Just like, these are villains. These are the big villains. What are you doing?
I gotta say, main characters, kind of mid, kind of cringe, a lot of cliches, and
there's-
not very progressive, that one.
There is a new one coming out. There is a new D&D movie coming out.
There he is.
Yeah.
When's?
I can't remember what,
I think there's
anything about
very
it.
little, at least the last I heard about it, there's very little details been confirmed about
Yeah.
it. It's been in the works for a while, so I imagine it's probably gone through quite a few rewrites.
I hope Vin Diesel's involved.
Oh, yeah. I was like,
He
that's
loves
that's my
D&D so
favorite
much.
D&D movie is Dead Set Chronicles of Riddick.
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
It's good. Yeah.
It's my mum's favorite movie.
yeah.
For real, she
I-
thinks Carl Urban is delicious.
Carl Urban is delicious.
Anyway,
Just saying.
so why don't we talk about, I don't know, the game that we
It's
actually
like 30
play?
minutes.
Yes, like
I mean, we got close to relevant.
Should we change categories to just chatting?
Oh, we still
talking
listen
about
Dungeons and
D&D.
Dragons, yeah. I'm sorry to anyone who came to watch us roleplay. Instead, we're just talking about the weird ass history.
Oh,
I
Wait
learned
till
an
I
awful
get
lot
to
from Bishop
explain-
Blood in chat.
Dude, wait till I get to explain what a gombok is. Then we're screwed.
All right, tell me what a gumbuck is. Let's lean in.
no!
Oh, you're not ready.
This
You're
is
not ready for
we were
this.
just warned it's a point of no return.
Okay, right. Well, guys, tell me your favorite moments so far from the season. I mean, do you want to actually watch roleplay?
True. Sounds kind of cringe, to be honest.
Stupid. Yeah.
Okay, sounds like the new D&D movie is stuck in pre-production hell.
Yeah.
Sounds about right. All right, tell me your favorite moments from the season so far.
Ooh.
Any persons as well, like just a single favorite thing that happened so far. And chat, I would love to hear your opinions on this as well.
I liked
That
the
seamless
moment
transition.
when we just saw straight up cult activity. Like we
Oh, yeah.
come into the room and there's like, oh yeah, there's like a wardrobe of robes. It's yeah, and there's a hidden church. And before that, we thought like, yeah, there's a conspiracy, sure, but yeah, now no, it's just a very sinister cult. Now, I liked that moment because the tone, at least for me, shifted quite a bit from hey, someone's stealing money to wow, there could be like some sacrifices involved. Good luck. I like that.
That didn't occur to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's still a government
point.
conspiracy too, just FYI. Like, it's definitely government conspiracy
it's-
and cult.
Oh, it's both. We get both. We get
Yeah,
cult
I'm double
and government
dipping.
conspiracy.
Yeah, Eric melding with the Giga Tree is
I was
Bishop
gonna
Blood's.
say that.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
dope.
I'm with you, Bishop Blood. That was so cool.
I was like,
The
yeah,
Giga Tree.
it's too
Oh,
cool
no.
an idea to not give it to him as well. Like, I was like, and he dies. No, I was like, that's mean. It's a really neat idea. It's not a particularly smart idea, but it's a neat idea. Yeah. I'm trying to think. I think my favorite so far would be... actually, I adored Daria discovering that Tavernish was the guy who stole the payroll. That was very, very funny for me. Because he
man.
never said it.
Yeah, we just assumed he didn't.
My favorite
I kind
moment
of
was that today, Spina? The tangent we went on.
Oh man.
The real D&D is the tangents we went on along the
Yeah.
way.
Very true.
It's not a tangent. It's a side quest.
I think mine. I mean, there's lots, but I want to shout out the different characters that we played in the first couple of episodes. On
With Javier.
Javier, thank you. I blanked on his name. With Javier's little side quest, that was really cool. Particularly culminating in that moment with the giant ooze.
Yeah.
With the soul forge inside it was very cool.
Yeah. Bishop Blood, Eric and Trish's indirect hostilities through Bannock. Yeah, that's fun too. Yes. And through sending spells. Also tell Eric, fuck you.
I'm like, okay, all right, I guess.
Poor Cash is just like, I feel like I should really do something about this, but there's also possibly a conspiracy / cult, and I feel like I should deal with that.
That first, yeah.
Trish's hurt feelings can wait. Sorry, Trish.
Absolutely.
I also really adored Julio breaking the news about what happened to Arthur.
Oh my god, yes.
I loved setting up that whole thing. My favorite me moment for the season so far was working out Arthur's exit for the
yeah.
campaign and realizing, oh shit, he could become a boat. That'd be perfect. Yeah. My favorite Eric moment so far. Follower goal reached. We just hit 250.
Oh, you.
You know what that means? Everybody gets inspiration.
Heyo.
So
Gamesy7.
inspired.
Thank you very much for the follow, you bloody
Game
champion.
Z7.
Games.
We got confetti.
Yeah, thank you very much. We're just having a table talks. We're just discussing about the things that we've been doing. So thanks very much for the follow. You were the one that did it. Exactly, yes you were. Welcome. Yeah, we of course as Cove. I don't know if you've hung out with us before. But yeah, we tell D&D stories. Yeah, what brought you to us, Game Z7?
Spin.
You don't get it every time, Spina, no.
I'm pretty sure we only get the credit.
backwards and forwards on it once.
Yeah.
What you're gonna
Farming
do, Spina,
inspiration.
is wait until we're at like 298 and then just sit there and wait until it hits 299, then you'll be 300.
Alrighty, cool. Well, that's my favorite moment. Anybody have any
I've
other
only
favorite moments?
been here a short while.
That's true.
conscious of what's happening, but I do like just being able to stab a bitch. I don't know.
That one
That
time
was-
I have
you
that
did.
nemesis
That
now.
was so epic.
It was a
Yeah.
good fight.
It was good.
That's probably been my favorite Bennett moment so far, was just running out by yourself after the assassin. And for a while, it looked like you were about to win.
And then she was
Yeah.
like,
The dice hated me.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Josh's dice hated me specifically. I was like,
This dice really had it in for
all
you.
right.
Throw
Oh.
it away.
But you
Well,
know,
No,
it, does,
it's my
it
pretty
gives
dice.
us- it gives us room to, revisit this lovely lady in the future and find out what her deal is. Maybe by torturing it out of her. I don't know. I'm just
Ask me out to dinner first before trying to kill me.
True.
like, if women are going to kill me, I like them to buy me a drink first. Jeez.
I went to the campaign page to add inspiration, but I already have one because
Yeah.
I brought out the coolest bit of experience
yes.
in campaigns.
You did cool shit, so you got inspo.
Hey.
Nice work.
Do they
Solid.
stack? They don't stack.
No, you
do they?
don't stack.
Ah.
Yeah.
You don't stack them.
Hey, quick! 2 people unfollow so I can have it for the next week.
The only thing we get the achievement twice. That would be kind of funny if you could. So you just sit there like, because technically I follow the channel, so just follow and unfollow.
Watching you.
strategically.
Did we just discover the inspiration meta?
Oh no, it's gonna be nerfed very soon.
I like that this
No,
is still
patch
everyone's
notes.
first character. Ooh.
Oh.
No one's
Is this a
perma-died
challenge that Josh needs to kill someone? Because that's what it sounds like, and I'm not okay with that.
yet. Yeah, I haven't permanently killed anybody yet. Even Helvig's come back. Yet.
What
I
a
mean-
cop out.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, what a coward.
Unbelievable.
Oh, it's
Is
expensive.
it just me, or do I like dying as a character? I feel like there's such drama. Like I
Oh.
live for the drama of it.
Potential future shenanigans
My
for
character
Bennett
died.
transferring
We
to
had
the
to
void.
go. We had to go through the plane of fire to get him back. There was effort.
There was a lot of effort. It was a big thing. It was a whole thing.
I
played
feel like
in-
this might be a red flag to certain people, but I've never actually had a D&D character die. So
Same.
all my D&D characters I've ever created are still alive.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
I was about to say the same thing. I have only experienced at all in game one character death when I was a DM in the game that Josh was playing in, and that's because arguably, and Josh would probably say not arguably, that character did stupid stuff.
Fucking stupid thing. Yeah.
Yeah, but no,
And also, it did come to a choice between me and him. Because
Yes.
I was also unconscious at that point, and so the only healer in the party could only res one of us. And it was the closest I got to death as well in that whole campaign. Storm King's Thunder, 2.5 years, that was the closest I got to death, was in the Fire Giant's Mountain. And yeah, the Ruggarok Oglabungo, one of the most irritating Goliaths I've ever met.
What a name! What a name!
It was,
wow.
he introduced himself the same way every single time as well, which was really funny. It was just like, "Hello, I am Rogorok Oglabungo. I am 7'3", and he just lists off all of his stats. Like, it's like,
Yeah.
I have blonde eye, I have brown eyes, and no hair. And we're like, we can see that. And He introduced himself
Yeah.
the very first time, and then it just kept being the joke. And we're like, this has long since stopped being funny. Please. Oh no, you died. Oh no. And then he reincarnated as a Kenku. The only way to make that player more irritating.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
salty.
I adore
Brendan-
the player as a person, but I do not care for playing D&D with them.
Oof.
Yeah.
Brendan's actually the person who's come the closest to killing one of my D&D characters.
Oh yeah, as a fellow player character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looking at me across the table, stabs my character a couple of times, and I'm like, dude, I swear to God, if you fucking kill my character, we are not friends.
Why?
If I had played that better, if I had not been a coward, then I 100% could have basically
Killed
one
Catalina.
hit killed you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You you
I,
probably could have killed me, but you didn't. So I'm very grateful for that.
No, it was, and I spoke to Josh about this. This was a mental choice that I had. I'm like, do I do the right thing by this character, or, and at the same time, do I want to throw away any relationship and friendship that I have with Karen? That was the choice.
Hey, Lizelle,
Very
good to see
invested
you.
in that character.
Yeah, I know you were.
To the point where you're still porting her into other worlds now.
Yeah, she was the
uh,
original version of Catherine Corvamus, was the one
yeah.
Brendan nearly killed. Which, to be honest, at the time wasn't something I considered that I could just, slightly change her and bring her back in as a different character. At the time, I was like, if she dies, it's over, and I can't let that happen.
Lizelle had an Azamar paladin cleric who was reincarnated as a half-orc. Oh, to be clear, the Goliath did not reincarnate. The player just started a new character. That would have been hilarious.
But the
if
story is the
Ragnarok had turned into
reincarnation.
a Kenku. Yeah. Yeah.
It starts the, hello, I am Rugger Onondaga. I am, a kangaroo.
Who really wanted to learn to fly, and we all could, except him.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Karen, the way you said that phrase right now just made me think of a very stupid idea. New race in D&D. It's
Crossing swords.
kangaroo, but instead of kangaroo, it's kangoo. And that's all you it's just,
Oh.
yeah. It's so dumb. But why no funny animals? Like we have a rabbit race, we have a tabaxi.
Karen has played a
Why not?
rabbit.
Yeah, I
There's
want
an
to play
official
like a
rabbit now as
jacked
well.
kangaroo.
There wasn't an official
Yeah, what
rabbit,
about
there
a
is now.
jet, like monk kangaroo fucking everyone up?
Oh my god, yes. And his
'Cause-
special action could be like sitting back on his tail and kicking the shit out of people.
Hell yes.
Yeah, I recently homebrewed, and I will put it up in our Discord, basically a flying mammal race for Humblewood. As in bats, ideally, was the thinking. And then I was like, wait, there are other kinds of flying mammals. So the other kind is a flying fox sort of style thing.
Or a possum.
Or a possum. So yeah, they're called Tyrans, as in Chiropterans, is the Latin name for bats. So a Chiroteran is the bat folk, and what was it called? A Lupoteran was the sort of flying foxy kind of person. And Brendan helped me finesse it a little bit, because the Chiro was a little overpowered. Yeah, and
Would have been great for the person playing.
there may wind up being a Chiroteran on stream at some point in the future.
Cool. I'd
What a
love to
tease.
try that. That sounds cool.
They're pretty dope. Let me find them. Let me find the
For those who were curious, our homebrew rabbit
Audrey.
Humblewood character was a Rabaxi because we're so imaginative.
I just swapped it.
I love it.
Yeah, Terran.
Yeah, it was cute. Audrey Hopburn was her
Audrey
name.
Hopburn. For the Terran, it wasn't even that much of a smash either. About 80% of it is a raptor, basically what Bennick is. I just took raptor and changed it a little bit, and they've got the glide. They are small. They have claws, so they're really good at climbing. I gave them raptors have basic proficiency with perception. I swapped that for acrobatics. And then the Lupal Terrans get proficiency with perception as well, instead of one kind of raptors get acrobatics. So basically, they just got swapped. Lupal Terrans are a +1 to charisma. They have alert. They're proficient with perception. They also considered proficient in intelligence investigation checks for the purposes of locating physical traps, because they're very light on their toes. They also have aerial defense. When they are gliding, falling, or jumping, anybody has disadvantage attacking them. And Chiroterrans, and that's straight out of Raptors as well. I didn't even change that bit. And then Chiroterrans are wisdom in scores increased by 1. Terror of the night, they have blind sight to 10 feet. And if they are making significant, read noticeable noise, not stealthy amounts of noise, this is increased to 60 feet. They have advantage on wisdom perception checks based on sound. However, they also have sunlight sensitivity. To anything over 10 feet, because within 10 feet, they have blind sight, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And they also have silent and unseen. When attacking a creature that is unaware of their presence, the first attack has advantage and deals 1d6 extra damage. So, level 1 rogue sneak attack.
Yeah, these guys are perfect for rogue. Trap
finding, dead set. Not very good at
attacks.
Bad ranged attacks, though. Shit at range. They are made for sneaking up and stabbing you in the back. They also have proficiency. All Terrans have natural forager. Your familiarity with hunting and foraging allows you to live off the land practically indefinitely. You can feed, so it's sort of like the Wanderer feat for Outlander background. You can feed your proficiency a bonus worth of people every day just from your instinctive hunting skills, provided the terrain that you are in would allow it. You also have advantage on wisdom survival checks to discern things about animal tracks, and nature checks to determine things about nuts, berries, and fungi. So very specific, but kind of useful. And hunter's training, you have proficiency with short bows, short swords, and rapiers. Additionally, your familiarity with hunting in the branches makes you skilled at laying ambushes and identifying the flaws in them. While setting an ambush or trap, you may give one creature that is friendly to you advantage on their stealth roll. Which I thought was pretty cool, but not overpowered, because it's very situationally useful.
Yeah. Cool. Is it just me, or whenever I hear the word raptors, I don't think about birds, I think it's lizards.
Yeah, because dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs,
Velociraptors.
Yeah.
Okay, someone needs to do dinosaur versions of characters. Just we need a Jurassic Park D&D.
Prehistoric. Oh yes. By the way, I just talked with our group on Monday. We didn't have a session this time. We just hang out and we talked about favorite dinosaurs. What are your favorite dinosaurs, dudes?
Ooh.
Pachycephalosaurus.
Why?
Well, what?
The ones with the domed skulls that run into you really, really fast, and they're just really cool. And when I had explained to me exactly how it all worked, that basically they align their spine perfectly. It's really good shock absorption, so they can just smash into anything and not get hurt at all because their spine just lines up perfectly when they charge at stuff. And I was just like, that's cool. And they look pretty dope as well. They look pretty hardcore. I was like, that one would make an awesome mount. Raptors are also cool. Pterodactyls, again, Spina, totally agree with those choices. But Spinosaurus for Bishop Blood.
Oh yeah, Spinosaurus looks damn goofy, but it's a funny one. It's a funny guy. I like pterodactyls personally. When I was small and I just opened the book and so, damn, this bitch is flying. Better than everyone. MVP.
Well, I would totally allow pterodactyl as a Terran. I would allow a pterodactyl.
I like Triceratops.
Yeah.
Those are pretty cool. I also like, I can't remember what they're called, but the ones with the giant mace tail.
Ankylosaurus.
Yes, Ankylosaurus.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm good at this.
Funny dudes, yeah.
I was into dinosaurs as a kid.
Well, now that I'm thinking about dinosaurs, I realize how big dinosaurs were in the 90s.
Yeah.
Power Rangers, The Land Before Time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Is it 90s?
Yeah, the first one.
90s?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The early 90s, I think. I think it came out when
Yeah,
I was.
definitely.
I've not watched one. I haven't watched a single one. I did like Power
Blasphemy.
Rangers though.
Oh.
Dude, sue me. I also don't like Star Wars. What am I going to fucking leave now? Look at that. No
Oh no,
smile.
you're about to get get
no.
evicted. You're about to get your eviction notice.
Rocks fall. Julio dies.
Oh, Julio.
Jokes on you. I enjoy the drama.
He's too dodgy. I
Julio's
can't hit him. No, fair enough. They are very silly movies.
To
What
be
about
fair,
you, Dan?
I like two. Sorry, I will just tell you right now, so you don't think I'm an idiot. I like two characters. I like 3 characters in Star Wars. So
Okay.
that's a lot.
Which ones?
See?
Don't say C-3PO.
No, I'm not gonna say C-3PO. It's
Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah, fuck you.
no. Actually, I like Obi-Wan.
Yeah. Okay.
He's sexy.
Yeah.
I like
Anakin in the
Darth
second movie. Yeah.
Maul. I like Darth Maul because he's
Uh-huh.
sexy and has
Yeah,
a double
he's pretty
sword.
dope. Yeah, he's.
Yeah, and I like the girl from the animated series who trained under Anakin.
Oh yeah, Ahsoka.
Yeah, she's pretty cool.
She's in The Mandalorian.
Haven't watched it
Yeah.
because I don't like Star Wars.
As established in
Yeah.
the Daria canon.
It's a real shame. Mandalorian.
Yeah,
If you
but
watch
yeah.
nothing else, Mandalorian is very, very cool.
Okay.
Yeah, Dan, favorite dinosaur?
I
is
was
not
avoiding
where I
this 'cause
expected
I'm
this
not
to go.
really- I'm not a big dinosaur person, so I guess I just have to say the basic bitch answer, and that's the T-Rex.
T-Rex. Yeah, look, they're dope. Yeah.
I mean, they're so cute. The little arms, so cute.
They can't brush their own
Also,
teeth.
You know,
They can't
I
hug.
was less into
that's okay. They hug with their
dinosaurs.
mouths. You know, predatory good vibes.
Also, they have sexy thighs, like big thigh. You know, it's
Yeah,
Never
swole.
leg day.
Yeah.
yeah, thick.
Thick
But I will
boys.
say I was not a dinosaur kid. I was the dragon kid. You know that book,
Valid.
the Dragonology?
Yeah, yeah.
I have that, and I love that.
Yeah.
I was into that shit a lot.
So,
I didn't know about D&D, but I was like, damn,
Yeah.
dragons.
Elmosaurs. Okay, I need to look this shit up.
Elasmosaurs.
Elasmosaurs. Yeah,
Look,
so this is actually going to
sounds
point out what I was about to say. I have very bad dyslexia. Saurs.
The
Also,
mech.
Spina, I have a posture question, though.
Oh, it's like a
stands up.
plesiosaur. Yeah. Oh, it's a genus of plesiosaur. There you go. Yeah, they're cool. Yeah.
Yes, Spina, I've been waiting for Dino Chat to end so we can get to your question as well. Because
What did
It's
Speeder
cool.
It's
ask?
just like
question.
going on, and I was like, it's gonna
Like 10
disappear.
minutes ago.
I just
Yeah.
have to say that it's not forgotten.
yeah, no, we remember. We just have to talk about dinosaurs for a minute.
It was a valid question. All right, what did Speeder ask? May I give a suggestion? Go for your life, Gamesy. What did Speeder ask? Speaking of
Speeder-
characters, what process, if any, do you go through when choosing a character/class? Good idea. That's a nice one. I've had to come up with a lot of characters recently because I played in a bunch of weird sort of makeup games and charity games, and a lot of the time it is every time is different. I played a Warforged Artificer this afternoon called Vape, and the starting point was going to the Corsair's Cove chat, typing in !race, and seeing what it chucked up, and it said Warforged, and I was like, cool. What could I do with an Artificer? What can I do with a
Name them
Warforged? So this is part of the story I was going to say, because Vape is... Oh, that's not helpful. That's a link to a web page. Vape is the name of... I was massively into two things in my teens. In my early teens, dinosaurs, Star Wars. So you very much offended me.
Oh no! You know,
and-
like in Sims, when you talk and there's a sudden minus in conversation. That's for me now.
So I have very bad dyslexia, and it. I didn't learn to read until I was about 11. I just couldn't. It was too difficult, and I didn't really want to, coupled with I had nothing I particularly wanted to learn to read. So I went from see cat run cat run, to full-length adult novels, as in just for adults, not like dirty, sexy scenes, but about people riding dragons. Mum was like, here, this one's about people who ride dragons. And I was like, fucking sick. Done. Okay.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, the first novel I ever read, I have on my shelf right now. I read it again recently, and it's really good. And I was like, I understand why I learned to read now. It is called Dragonflight by Anne McCaffrey.
Never heard about it.
Anne McCaffrey is a very prolific writer in the 80s, 90s. She is a multi-Hugo award-winning... she's one of the grandmasters of sci-fi. Has been appointed one of the grandmasters of sci-fi. She's amazing. She's unfortunately deceased, but she wrote the Dragons of Pern series, which starts out very fantasy, like dragon riders, and the dragons are supported by the planet that they live on, because every now and again another planet swings by, and these nasty, basically aliens, drop from that planet to the one they live on, and they just consume all organic life. And the only way to kill them is fire. So the dragons burn them out of the sky before these creatures land. And that's the premise. And then as they learn more and more, it turns very sci-fi, because these are actually colonists from another planet. And then we go back in time and we see how the colony happened, and the dinosaurs, the dragons were genetically engineered, and it's really, really cool. And it goes sci-fi. And I was like, oh my god, this is awakening something in me. And then I went very heavy into sci-fi. My dad showed me Star Wars when they did the re-release, when they fixed it all up and brought it up into line. And I was like, oh no. And that awakened something in me. And I have read something in the region of 70, 80 Star Wars novels.
Wow.
And Vape is an astromech, an R2-D2 style character from one of the books, who had a beer dispenser built into him by the pilot of his. He flew in an X-wing with a pilot, and that guy was like, "I want a beer dispenser in my walking my astromech." So if he turns to Vape and says, "Vape, cold one," a beer just shoots out of the top, and I was like, "Okay, Warforged, but it's Vape." And Vape has a Steel Defender, which is an astromech, called Whistler, which is another astromech from the series. In fact, if you remember the Star Wars films very well, Wedge Antilles, Whistler is Wedge Antilles' astromech. There you go. That's my story.
If you know the Star Wars...
very well, like we all do. Yes.
Very well.
Yeah, like we all do.
Well, speaking of fantasy grandmasters, I'm about to burn all the bridges, probably.
Come
But
on, then.
I also
Bring it.
am not a fan of the Tolkien books. The only one I like is Hobbit.
They
I
are
couldn't go
really hard.
Damn, I was reading at like 16. I was reading the trilogy, and in the middle somewhere, there's a full fucking page of description of the design of the house of the tree ant. And I just closed the book, and I never opened it again. I was like, nope, I'm not reading this. I'm not doing it.
No, I won't judge you too hard for that one. The books are fucking impenetrable. The Hobbit was nice,
Hobbit
but Lord
is
of the
fun.
Rings, yeah.
Hobbit was like one of the first books I've read in English, because it's simple and fun and short enough so I don't get a fucking seizure from thinking too much. So that was nice.
Yeah.
I haven't read any Tolkien, but that's what I've heard. You're definitely not alone there, Daria.
Yeah, it's just drawn out. Like, I had enough of that with Tolstoy when he fucking describes shit for like pages and pages. Like, I don't want to do that again.
Karen and I
I-
are both quite fond of an author called Jean M. Owl. Is that who you were going to talk about? Like, she tells a really good story, but the woman just never shuts up about describing a plant.
And her editor got really fucking slack by the last book in the series, and just a lot of people were like, "This is trash. Nothing happens. They're just literally drinking tea and wandering around. Like, what the hell happened?"
It's 700 pages of looking at cave paintings and drinking tea.
It's so boring.
But,
And it's just like the first
cavemen
like,
doing it.
The first 2 books are amazing.
Yeah.
And then they were
book 2
okay.
is so good.
And
3
then
is
by
alright.
And then by the time we get to the last one, I was so mad. I was just like, how dare you drop the ball this badly, Jean? Did you have a contract you had to fulfill? What the fuck was going on here?
Yeah. Like, the woman
Damn,
acquired...
Jean.
Oh no.
The woman got an honorary doctorate in archaeology for her work on the series. Like, she did
Wow.
incredible research on the books. It's about a cave woman and her life and the travels. But the travels are deeply, like, very old lady, like, dirty sex. Like,
What's the name of the book?
very... it's called The Clan of the Cave Bear, is the first book, and it's the Clan of the Cave Bear series.
Clan.
And the first one is, like, if you're not up for, like, quite graphic descriptions of basically rape, don't read the first one.
Basically in front of it, Josh.
Yeah, I'm gonna skip then. I'm gonna
But the second one, the first one is important for context, but the second one is where the story gets good.
And then the 3rd and 4th are okay, but then just stop.
Right.
Yeah.
I do have a question. So you mentioned that you're into sci-fi. I could never get into sci-fi books or films or anything, to be honest.
Right.
I don't enjoy like Star Trek or Star Wars or anything. What is the book that you would recommend for a person who doesn't really like the techno like babble, the wombo jumbo stuff, and like just a good story? What would you recommend?
If you don't like science-heavy sci-fi,
I like science, but I just don't want to read a lecture about like a chair from like 5 centuries in the future.
correct, Lizelle. I do apologize. It is the Earth's Children series. That is what it's called, not the Clan of the Cave Bear series. Yes. Good question. And I have so much sci-fi trash right behind me. Like, Warhammer is a terrible place to start for sci-fi trash, though. There is an author called Ian Douglas who does very good work. His science fiction is scientifically based, but it's not like you don't need a degree to understand what's going on. I think he explains it quite well, and it's actually like it actually makes sense. There's also actually one behind me, Jack Campbell. Jack Campbell does good work.
I got super confused in my mind, and you said Ian Douglas, and I was like, why would you recommend him? His stuff's really sciencey. And I was like, oh no, sorry, wrong author. No, that is a good suggestion.
Yeah, no. The Semper Mars is the first book of a 9-book series, but Semper Mars is really cool. It's sort of speculative fiction. It's very jingoistic American gung-ho, but if you can get past that, the French are the baddies. In fact, Russia comes out of it quite good. Weirdly enough,
That's surprising. Usually,
yeah, I know, right?
it's the other way
Yeah,
around.
yeah. No, he makes the Europeans the villains, and Russia and the US find common ground on their mutual hatred of continental Europe.
Wow.
But yeah, Jack Campbell also does good. Not science heavy sci-fi. That is, yeah, spaceship combat, and there is a fair amount of heavy duty character development and conflict, and it's all it's a character story. But also, actually, come to think of it, good sci-fi that isn't science heavy. Read Rachel Foucault's Rings of Mars.
Oh, I have it in my notes. You mentioned it before, and I wrote it down, so I will give it a try. By the way, I'm gonna look like a total goofball and a clown, like I usually do. But I'll tell you guys how I structure my notes. Whenever people recommend stuff, I write it down, and then when I have free time, and go and pick a random thing from the list and like start like digging into it. and I have like books, films, like concepts to just research. But recently I opened my list and it's fucking huge. And the first things I see is psychocybernetics. Okay, sure, I'll Google the concept. Cat People, 1942. Okay, that's a film, sure. The Left Hand of Darkness by Ursula Le Guin. It's a book, sure. But then I have the word lentils. No explanation, no nothing, just lentils. Sweet, thanks, Daria from the past. Like, what am I supposed to do with this?
Good idea, idiot.
I don't even like lentils. I hate lentils.
There was a joke going around on Twitter, and I kind of wish it had gotten a bit bigger because I thought it was really funny. And basically, it was one of those super tone deaf articles about, you know, how to save money on your budget during, you know, times of financial hardship. And, you know, it's one of those typical hot takes where you're just like, please stop talking. No.
You know nothing of me.
But one of them was... one of the suggestions was basically meat's expensive, so try finding other sources of protein. Lentils can be a great substitute. And I'm just like, okay, like lentils are my favorite food. I'm happy to eat them, but that's not the hot financial tip you think it is. And people basically were sharing it with the quote. So is this the new let them eat cake? Let them eat lentils?
It's the new don't buy avocado toast. That was rage-inducing for people like 10 years ago.
I don't like avocado, and I still don't own a house. It's not fair.
Yeah, I have never eaten avocado toast. Why do I live in a share house? Let's get back to the sort of premise of the thing.
Where we
You're still trying hard. Trying.
Look, it's sort of my job. I'd like to just go back through chat a little bit. Star Trek is butt is an opinion from Captain Kazi. That's an opinion. It's an incorrect one, but that's fine.
Look, there's a lot, Captain Kazi.
Okay, I will grant you the original series, like the original Kirk series, was a bit has not aged well. And neither has the gender politics within it. But Next Generation was like excellent, and Voyager, Arcana Babble is totally also a thing, though. Bishop Blood agreed completely. Yeah, Techno Babble and Arcana Babble, basically the same thing. I haven't had too much of an issue with it in my sci-fi, in my fantasy fiction, though. What else have we said? None of us have, like, I've sort of answered the question of how do you create characters. Sometimes you start with a concept. Sometimes I start with just I pick one thing about them and build from there. Other people, what do we think? How do we build our characters? Why is there no music in my ear holes?
While you're dealing with our ear holes, I'll answer. When I first started playing D&D, I went out of my way to look at races and classes that really weren't well represented within kind of the zeitgeist. So my very first D&D character was a one-armed Goliath monk. That was kind of cool. But for this campaign specifically, I did a bit of reading into the world of the campaign, and then I looked at some of the classes that I hadn't played a lot as, and the Wildfire Druid, I haven't done a lot with Druids, and Wildfire Druid works in really well with the idea that a part of the Humblewood is just permanently on fire. So that seemed like a cool idea to me, and Josh really liked the idea too. So that was how I came up with Eric specifically.
Yeah, I think it's also important to think of what you're going to use it for. Like, for a one-shot, I wouldn't do Vape. Vape is sort of like, there's an inherent joke in it. Like, for a mini campaign, or like I know a lot of people do like a joke character that for a one shot it's funny, you get the joke after it, like it's got a subtle pun in the name somewhere, that people will pick up on, or like, oh, that's neat, oh, that's funny, but it's not a particularly well optimized character. It's built to do this one thing. Whereas if you're building for a long form campaign, you've got to have somebody that gels with the other characters. Subtle. And also like works well in the party dynamic. Like if the party doesn't have a healer, someone needs to be that sort of thing, or not, and just have the ranger. So yeah, there are different things to build it for, and I think I quite like, as a DM, players coming to me with a couple of different options, particularly for a campaign that is already in flow. Daria got basically given a concept and said, right, there you go, build on that, because Julio we already knew what he was, we didn't know who he was, but we did know what he was at the beginning. Does anybody else have thoughts?
Well, I find it interesting because for me, the process of making a character is kind of the same every time. I don't think of class or race before I have a character concept at all. So like I start with an idea of a person I want to play. Like for example, for Vesna, for the one shot, I was like, hey, I want someone cheery who deals with a lot of death and violence, but has this like sunny attitude. And I was like, okay, what kind of class I want to use there?
We've been raided. GM's Workshop, thank you so much for the raid. You bloody champions. With a party of 53, and we're just sitting here talking about the season that we've currently been having. This is our table talks. It's something we like to do every now and again, just to have a quiet sit down and ask some questions, chat about the way the story's going, and general D&D questions as well, because we're currently talking about how we go about building characters in the first place.
Yeah, we're just vibing. Regular scheduled programming's next week.
We're so lucky that they did not hear us talk about dinosaurs and lentils. Yeah. They came right in time. Very good.
I have
yes,
in
topics
a
so far
of an
included.
However.
But yes,
GM's Workshop people, tell us your favorite dinosaur in chat. Important question.
We need to know.
Yes, yeah, we need to know. And also, do you like lentils? Yes or no?
Potatoes in chat for lentils.
Look, it's all about how you cook the lentils,
Probably, but I've never had much luck with it. But anyway, character creation. So first I think of the personality-wise. Then I look at archetypes. Because some of them just sound fucking cool. Like the fucking rogue one with something, I forgot. Soul knife or something like that.
The one with the psychic daggers?
Yeah, just sounds fucking cool. And then race and everything else just follows.
I suppose for me, it varies a lot, and people always hate that. It's like, don't you have a system? I'm like, no, my brain has no system. So definitely some characters have come because I wanted to create a certain class that I want to play. So I'm like, well, I want to play a bard. So what sort of character in this story would suit the bard kind of archetypes, or not, depending on how I want to go with it. But there's definitely been ones where I've been to Josh, who's basically my substitute for properly reading all the guidebooks. Hey Josh,
I want to do this. How does it work?
I want to do this. What class would work for that? I think when I did Kylie the Lizard Wizard, I think I literally went to Josh and said, this is what I want to do. Is that a thing?
Yeah. Oh, you definitely did it with V. You came to me and was like, hey, I want to make number 5 from Umbrella Academy. How do I do Femme number 5? And I said, you definitely need to be a Shadakai, because they can teleport. Yeah.
And they're slightly psychopathic and soulless.
Yes. I think you nail it, actually. You can, and V is the Roman numeral for number 5. That's what that was. Clever little, quiet little pun there.
I don't know if anyone ever picked it up, but yeah, she was called V because it was, V's Roman numeral for 5. What's the joke? It's like the Roman walks into bars, it's like, 5 drinks, please. But little joke for the Latin fans in the audience.
Listen, we're all nerds. Some of us are at least Latin fans for sure. I'm more of a Greek girl myself.
Fair.
It's a little bit more
I did
OG.
a short course in Latin once. Because you could sign up to do like little mini courses at like I think it was UWA. And yeah, I signed up to do Latin.
How was
Shits
it?
and giggles. That's the kind of teenager I was, guys. It was pretty cool actually, but you certainly learned why Latin is a dead language because Latin doesn't have punctuation, and it technically doesn't have to have spaces between the words. So it's entirely possible to completely misinterpret what someone has written down in Latin, which is
Oh, dude.
yeah.
I was, since I'm a linguistics major, we had like I think a full year of Latin. Did I learn anything? Fucking no. I can maybe like pronounce things correctly if I see them, but translating was such a bitch. We were like all guessing together because it's all whack. Or maybe I'm just dumb. Who knows?
You survived
what-
it. I don't think you were.
Hamatai really thinks Bennick looks cool.
Thank you.
And I
hell
agree.
yeah.
Bennick is new artwork from our lovely Daria. Yep,
do it.
and he does look excellent. We're very excited to have him. Hamatai also reckons the Ankylosaurus was their favorite dinosaur, and valid. You are in good company there. Ankylosaurus are dope. Deinonychus also very cool, like mini raptors. Yes, absolutely.
They're
Speaking
very
of
quick, aren't they?
Yes. Yes.
Speaking
Dan.
of Bennett, my character process tends to be quite research heavy, as in, like what Josh was saying, I tend to go in the what does the party need, like in a general situation. I tend to be in like a what does the party need type of deal. And if it's like pre-session 0, nobody still wants to know any stuff, then it's like actual research hell for me, because then I'm like, well, what are the variations of like XYZ like character archetypes do I need that I haven't done yet? So it's also fun for me, but still serves the purpose of like shoring up a potential weakness in the party. And if everyone's like, I don't know what to do yet, I'm like, I'm claiming this is the most fun thing I found in my research.
Oh my god.
So I'm just like, I'll give you one chance, and then I'm right in it. Otherwise, normally I get like restrictions, like particularly for Bennick, it was like spellcaster of some kind goes to Magic University. And then like every other layer comes out of that, which was like, well, we already have a wizard technically. In the other group, we had Nevermore, who was like the epitome of wizard.
Yeah.
If you think of a wizard, you would be Nevermore. Like he was like that archetype. So I was like, well, I have to move away from that to not be like a wizard energy overload. It'll probably
Now
be like,
you're a wizard that fucks. The wizard who just punches people and asks questions later.
yeah. So now we have like a Yeehaw Wizard Man.
Yeah.
Yeehaw, and that's his first name.
That's how you used to
Wizard Man,
describe
that's
him.
his
Yeah.
last name.
So you're yeehaw wizard boy.
Oh my god. But yes, I kind of agree with you. Like trying to locate if the party needs someone, I usually try to make a character last. So I can see like what kind of class is everyone else, so that if we need someone, I can like jump in and do the thing. Which, by the way, it's kind of nice how like random this group of characters became, but also like class-wise, it kind of works out, right? Because we have a high int character, a wizard, have high wisdom character, we have a wildlands expert ranger, and we have the in-city kind of expert rogue. So I think it works out. The only thing we're missing is a tank, but we do have.
Pardon?
Yeah,
Pardon?
Bennett.
What are these? What are these wizard guns?
Wizard guns.
I mean, it is really it's cool how it's turned out, because when we started this at the beginning of last season, we had 2 tanks. We had a Grave Cleric who blasted people and kept people alive, and we had a Goose Barbarian.
Who's also a boat.
Who's now a boat.
Yes, who's now definitely a boat. So we had a pretty good balance with that. And then we lost our 2 designated tanks, and we were kind of
Picked
at
up a
loss for
rogue
little bit.
instead. You're like, oh, fuck.
Yeah. But
A rogue with a smidge of health. I am the whack.
He has the
weakest
least
little
hit
bitch.
points.
Yeah.
I think actually currently hit points wise is Eric is the highest.
that's insane.
Yeah.
It doesn't have the padding.
The
Yeah, well-
magic padding.
I mean, Bennick, if nothing else, Bennick proved last session that he can be a really good tank.
Yeah.
Particularly when he's not by himself.
Alone.
So that I was concerned about that up until that point of last session. I was like, no, we'll be fine for tanks. But something that did dawn on me is how well suited this whole group is for sneaking.
Yeah.
We all have pretty high decks.
Yeah.
And plus with Pass Without Trace, we get the +10 anyway.
Bennick's
so,
the only one with anything over 10 strength though. But yeah, you're all very strong. You're all very dexterous.
Yeah, and it's rare for a group, for the entire group to be proficient in stealth.
Yeah.
To feasibly all be able to move at once, like behind enemy lines. So I think there's potential there, like what we lack in obvious tankiness we make up for in subterfuge.
It's always what my intention was for this party was like I had the first group, which were the loud and proud out there heroes, who like went and did the big showy stuff, and then you guys were the ones who came and did the sort of cleanup duty afterwards, all the stuff that hadn't been sorted out by the primary group, the sneaky stuff, the undercover, the finding out what actually was going on after all. That's you guys' job. More than once I've discussed with both parties who would win in a fight between the 2 parties, and I couldn't call it. Like I would not want to, like Javier is very confident he could take Jude, and I'm just like, I don't know, man. It would very much determine, it matters who goes first, and Javier's like, oh no, I could take anybody in 2 rounds. And I was just like, yeah, but against Jude, would you have 2 rounds? Jude has smites for days. Jude is a glass cannon, but yeah, I don't know. This is the thing, and it's not something I ever intend to indulge in, but yeah. If Bennick is in one party and Helvig's in the other, I don't know. Because neither of them can hit anything, but neither of them can be hit by anything either.
Is it like post-silvering Helvig?
It would have to be a post-silvering Helvig.
That boy's unhittable. I also designed Bennick this way because Josh killed me, and I was meant to be unhittable, so I'm gonna go unhittable version 2.0.
Fine, I'm gonna make it even harder.
That
Now I can absorb even area effect damage if I want to. Because that was
Yeah,
it.
that's
As soon as
right.
his AC went above 20, I was like, fine, area effect, spam the area effect damage.
Yeah. Joke's on you, he is high dex.
That is true.
Oh, cool.
I was surprised how high Bennick's dex is. I was like, wow, this wizard has guns and dex and like everything. Also, I know it was kind of like a joke of Julio not understanding what Bennick's like speciality as a wizard is, but
An
also,
Nazareth.
Point of view!
Genuinely hurt. He was like, what the fuck, the audacity.
yeah. But honestly, I've never seen anyone have this cool of wizard
Of abjuration.
Yeah, abjuration. I've never seen the play because a lot of people use the fucking prediction one,
Yeah, divination.
Yeah.
divination, or you know, like the fiery boom boom stuff.
Invocation.
Yeah.
Yes, thank
Yeah.
you. The
I got you,
translation
fam.
is here. Yeah, thank you.
Translate the Daria.
Yeah, the boom boom, the fucking 2-year-old.
Oh yes, the Big Bang Theory.
Yes, very good. Yes.
You know the
Yes.
big explosion.
I am so dumb. But yeah, so I've never seen it actually like played, but in that combat, I was like, oh boy, like the wizard alone against like a rogue and stuff, that's done. and yet you were incredibly good. You kind of put her on her like back foot. I was like, oh, so that's what abjuration wizard does. Okay,
Yeah.
I got it now.
Tank
I mean,
Fuck with me.
I haven't seen an abjuration wizard been played before, but correct me if I'm wrong, Dan, but isn't their main kind of gimmick that when they cast an abjuration spell, they get like the temporary hit points, that
Yeah.
little shield?
That was what the air cracking around him like glass was. Is this abjuration shield
He
thing.
had like multiple layers.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. Hamatai, how is Humblewood as a setting in general? Haven't tried it yet, as we're deeply embroiled in a homebrew setting world story. Maybe next campaign. It is dope. I really loved it. I supported it when it was on Kickstarter. I backed it there because I was like, it's such a cute idea. And yeah, when I got the book, I was like, I'm going to try this. I've got to try this out. So I got some mates together and we ran it. Then when Nova over on Roll for Damage said, would you be interested in running a game? I was like, yeah, actually, I've got the Humblewood I'm now quite familiar with. So originally I ran the book. And the story in the book is a nice, cute little story from 1 to 5. Get it done in about 20 sessions. If you don't do too many side quests, and your party doesn't spend 4 sessions researching at the Avium. But I have now spun this story over into... We are coming up on 60 sessions now in this world. We've got a second party going through finding, the bits that the first party missed. We've had over 20 player characters as like a lot of one-shots and stuff like that. They're all in the YouTube, ! YouTube. If you want to have a look and check it out. The Deck of Many's website has got all the Humblewood stuff as well. It's beautiful. If you want to try out Humblewood content, there are a couple of free one-shots on their website that you can download. All the character designs are very neat. Thank you very much, Ravensteel. Daria is much good artist. Very wow. Good luck getting my players to walk across a bridge in one session. Well, the one shot I ran on Tuesday morning, they were so stumped by a trap that wasn't a trap. They spent like half an hour trying to figure out what the colours on the plinths meant, and then meant nothing at all. Eventually the wizard with an intelligence of 20 says, hey, can I make an intelligence check to see if I can figure this out? Because I'm probably missing something. I said, yeah, go roll for it. He did, and I was like, it occurs to you that maybe it doesn't mean anything at all. He's like, oh, for fuck's sake. Show the best traps and things that aren't traps that just sort of look like one. Where else? What else we've had in chat? Frozen Trish seems like a powerhouse. Yeah. Rogue Barian. Scary cross-class. I'm probably entering at the very end. No, Ravensteel, you're not entering at the end, I'm afraid. You are actually entering in a session where we don't play any game at all. We are just talking about the game. We are doing sort of a debrief. We will be back for game next week, next Thursday. Force Scope does run games on the regular though. Karen and I play a 1v1 on Monday nights, where I'm currently DMing her, but she will be DMing me. We take it in turns with the same consistent character. So one of us is the player and one of us is the DM, and we swap it over every now and again. And I also play Total War on Tuesdays if you want to come and hang out for that. But yeah, normally we are D&Ding it up, but I'm not very well this week, and neither is Dan. So we thought we'd take a chill week and just have a table talk. This is what we like to do every now and again. Very cute, tricking the party into murdering their friend Helvig. The most hilarious joke, not sad at all. Thanks for the chat, folks. No worries. Have a nice day, Hamatai.
Is
Nice
it
to meet
really
you.
murder?
Was he technically already dead?
Was he already dead? I mean, he
didn't
was
have a
like
body.
bound to the plane of fire already, so like, you know.
Yeah. Can't kill him if he's bound to the plane of fire.
Josh, Spina had another interesting question.
Oh yes, I did see
further
it, but I
up.
couldn't find it.
Yeah. So, Josh, what's your favorite character introduction scene as a DM?
Ooh, as in way of doing it.
How about both? Way of doing and a good example of something that like stuck out in your brain.
I've done it one way that I really liked doing it. I think it was really, really funny, and I really liked it. It worked very well in that situation. Was the one shot I ran for the Roll for Damage charity weekend in December last year, where it was an Ocean's 11 style heist game, and so one character was playing the Danny Ocean Tavernish Forks and I gave it to him, and then he was like, right, I'm going to assemble a team, and each one of them sort of introduced the next, and it was sort of, they described the very cinematic, the jump cut to the next.
Like, I know a guy.
Crossfade, I know a guy. They're walking in, Tavernish Forks, you son of a bitch, I'm in. And yeah, it was like that. That was really fun. That was a really cute way of doing it. It doesn't work in every situation. I quite like having because we are very narrative focused and very sort of story focused, I quite like having a whole episode to devote to that. My intention in the short term is to have a one-shot Wednesday where we introduce a couple of new characters to the world that will become relevant later on. So yeah, give it the time. Basically, and it's something I've sort of always got in my head is give it the time it deserves, give it the time it needs. Don't rush it. Never rush the story because you'll get a crapper story out of it. And I've seen it when DMs do it, and I've even played in a game where it happened where we lost a week and the DM compressed the story from the finale was supposed to be 3 weeks, and he was just like, no, actually we're just going to end this week. So we went from having 2 weeks from having 3 weeks for it to just doing it in 1 week, and it was so rushed. It was a neat story and it was a really cool ending, but it was just rushed and spoiled the whole thing, really, and to the point where one of the players will never touch that character again, just doesn't even want to talk about that character anymore.
Aw, damn.
And it's really sad, and it was a shame because it was one of the best roleplay groups I've ever played with. They were really, really cool people, and I miss the character I played. There was a real piece of me in that character, and yeah, I miss them. But yeah, the anthropomorphic characters, Captain Kazi, they're only anthropomorphic because that's what the setting calls for. Humblewood is a world of anthropomorphic animal people. It contains only a single a single elf. And
Which
everyone's...
we thought was a fucking flamingo, by the way.
Because I described it verbally. I didn't actually say that they were an elf, because no one knows what an elf looks like.
Tall
So it's
and
like this,
pink.
and featherless.
Flamingo.
And they went
We,
like a
we
flamingo.
are in Humblewood, right? So
I mean, that's fun.
flamingo.
Yeah.
Oh no.
He's a professor at the Avium. His name's Grail Noctura, and no one has any
Just
idea
one
what the fuck
person.
he is. He showed up, he inadvertently got Palinar jumped there, and just was like, well, I guess I'll make my home here, because I don't know how to get back. There is a Dragonborn there as well, yes.
Nice.
The Humblewood expanded universe continues, yes, absolutely.
This question about character introduction got me thinking of something not really character introduction, but I've recently started DMing Strixhaven to a couple of people in my city. I don't know why I say a couple. There's 6 of them, but never mind. So yeah, we just finished like a big homebrew campaign where they went from 1 to 15th or 16th level. So it took like 2.5 years, and we wanted something short. But I wanted to like spice it up a little bit, and what I've started doing, I don't know if this is a good idea or bad idea, but it works out for us. Every session we randomly choose a point of view character, and they describe like how they begin their day, what they do in the morning, for example, or do they have a dream or something. And every session it's like a new point of view character, and if there's any group, because a lot of my players are like very meta-oriented. They're very into the most efficient thing, which is not how I am.
Big nerd. Big nerd.
And sometimes they can like talk about like statistics and like things for hours. And we decided that the POV character of that session ultimately decides what the group does. So they hear everyone and like, okay, so this is the day for this character. So with all of this information, you decide what we do. And it kind of does two things, right? It kind of introduces some introspection and also like straightens the story the fuck up because they love that shit.
That's cool. That's a really narrative, kind of episodic, like it makes it feel like a series, which is really cool. I haven't heard of that before.
To be honest, the campaign Strixhaven is very episodic. It's very like, hey, this week something happens, then a few weeks of nothing, then wow, new encounter. Also,
Goddamn school.
all the fucking encounters are all the fucking same. I have to homebrew a lot, which is not a problem. I love homebrew, but campaign, it is not. Like, it's episodes, so it kind of works out. It's kind of fun.
What I've found with these published modules is a lot of people tend to kind of homebrew their own stuff and publish that online. They kind of identify like common issues that a lot of people have with the content and then kind of either by themselves or as a team kind of figure out solutions to that. When I ran Storm King's Thunder, I was following a guide online, thank you, of how to do that, and I've seen bits and pieces for a lot of modules. So if you're finding that you're having to homebrew stuff, then it might be worth giving it a look and see if someone else has done the work for you and see what you can borrow.
Well, to be honest, I kind of, when I looked at the adventure and how people described it, which is, yeah, very true. Bishop said it's like a book with setting with a mini adventure. That's kind of what it is. But to be honest, for me, it worked out because before I had this long ass homebrew, like everything that I've made on my own. And this is the first time I ran a module at all. So I kind of like the idea that I can think things into it and it still makes sense. And I kind of like giving them like crumbs of what's going on later. Like at some point they're going to like this detention bog or whatever, the place where like wicked weird stuff happens. But one of the people cheated on the first exam. So I'm like, oh, great opportunity to introduce the bog before they actually go there in setting. So it's like, it's all connected. I kind of love it.
Yeah. It's my favorite thing about this Humblewood world now is the interconnectivity of it all, of how many little plot lines that we've had on stream that are currently in function, that are currently in motion. So you've got Tavernish's whole other thing going on that we'll occasionally dip into. We just occasionally see Tavernish Forks pop up. And Catherine Corvamus is off on her own thing. And now we've got Javier off on his own thing. And we've got Arthur off on his own thing. And we've got so many people that we are interested. I really want to follow up on Polyani and her first mate because they're adorable. And there's just so many interesting, interconnected stories there.
That hedge,
so
he lives in my heart rent-free. I love him.
So we had a question. Is this our work? Originally, no. This is the Hit Point Press and the Deck of Many came up with the Humblewood. I put a link to it in chat, the Hit Point Press there. There is several free downloadable PDF one-shots, including one I haven't read yet called Descent into Darkness. Descent into the Dark, rather. It's all built for use with D&D 5e. It's all fully compatible. It comes with a bunch of new race options and a few class options, or subclass options. Descent into the Dark. It should be, shouldn't it? Castellan, thank you so much for the continued sub, by the way, as well. You bloody legend. Castellan just finished a game over on Ardent Roleplay where they were DMing for Jasper's Game Week. And apparently it went very, very well. Share, you nerd. The A-Team Superheroes, the B-Team Mercs, the C-Team Thieves, and now the D-Team Death Squad, plus Grumblewood Bizarro World. Yeah, there is a lot going on. I have yet to decide whether or not one way or the other Grumblewood is actually canon.
What's
What a
Grumblewood?
wild time.
It was a wild time.
What is that?
Grumblewood
like
is like Bizarro World, the original party. So like they're like inverted versions of the characters. So Nevermore is not an arrogant prick. He just does what he's told, and sort of a heavy for a local gang mob. And he's called Always Less.
That's so stupid. I love it.
It's so dumb. AJ played like a granny kingpin, sort of criminal underworld woman. Trish was just a baseless, horrible thief, and Helvig was a pyromaniac.
Yeah. Actual cultist.
Burned everything down to the ground.
Cultist bros with the aspect of fire.
Yeah, like best mates with his patron. Yeah. Grumblewood, Stumblewood, Fumblewood, and Crumblewood. It's the Inward cinematic universe. Yeah, exactly. It's canon.
I really
has its
like
own
this.
universe. Yeah.
I really like the sound of the D-Team Death Squad.
Yeah.
It took me a second to figure out who that was. I was like, oh yeah, Death Squad. I could get behind that.
Who would that be? Oh, right. No, of course, obviously. I'm stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it took me a second too.
Yeah. I was like, oh yeah, Javier. Yeah. And now we have well, there would also be the E team, the pirates as well. Yeah, there's a lot.
When we get to the Z team, who do deep dives with forensic accountancy, that we know we've gone to.
It's gonna be like
this is gonna be
montage
you.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's us
that's
right
us.
now.
Unfortunately. Hey, can I transfer to a different team?
I want to be on the accountants team.
All right, I had another question. Unless we've had good ones from chat, but I had another one. Something you have learned about your character this season. Something that you didn't know about them when we started this season. Easier for Karen and Brendan.
Well, I've only had 3 episodes with Eric so far.
Actually, no. Yeah, Julio's probably the easiest. He's had the most.
I have something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have something if people need time. So, okay. The way I saw Julio was... Oh, my cat came. The way I saw Julio was that he's, kind of happy-go-lucky, but also like with dark past, but a sweetheart, wants to be a team player and stuff. And for the most part, it kind of works. But through the series of very unfortunate situations, he kind of lost all his momentum on being like good at fucking anything. and I found that he is suddenly quite insecure about like being a bit of a failure. So like he obviously like left pirates on his own accord, but kind of with that came the thought of, oh, I'm just not cut out for this work. And then he spent the time with his captain, and now going into the world of adventure again, and once more kind of dropping the ball a little bit. Obviously not on his, like, it's not his responsibility, but with the type of thinking before, and like remember with lockpicks, like when I introduced him the first time and he just couldn't do it because of people watching, it kind of all snowballed into like, he's very worried about the perception that he is not good enough to be here, I can draw on that very well. I struggle with that a lot.
Bit of imposter syndrome.
Oh yeah, like I'm an artist, I have to fucking worry all the time. Like, am I actually talented at all? Am I doing anything well? So it's very easy to give that to him, unfortunately.
Get out of my head, Dara.
Yes.
It's like, maybe I suck. Oh, God.
Yeah. And another part of you is like, what do you mean maybe? Of course you suck. I'm like, oh no. And it's a spiral downward.
What I kind of like about Kesh as a character in that regard is that she doesn't often like think of herself as the best person for the job, but she definitely thinks of herself as the person who is there to do the job. So she's like, I may not be the best person to do this, but I'm the person that is here to do this. So
It's
do
like-
it, I will.
Yeah, it's like what's the advice they give officers in the army is like Is there somebody around who is more qualified than you to do the job you're doing? If so, ask them to do it and support them in whatever way you can. If not, do it because you are the best. You are the best here right now. And it's good advice for life.
My thing isn't so much something that I have learnt about Eric, but I've noticed Eric kind of embracing and learning about himself is that he is starting to really accept the role he's found himself in as Kesh's second in command.
Yeah.
And the person who's kind of, if for no other reason than just that he's been there the longest, has kind of been.
He's the other one in the party with a brain.
Yes.
Oi.
But that's been nice, kind of exploring that relationship. Since the wedding, Kesh and Eric have felt closer. And so I've really enjoyed exploring that team and helping Kesh to negotiate all these new people that kind of seem to be approaching.
Yeah.
For me, it's, I mean, I've only been here for a little bit, but what Dan learned, but was already like set up before in the past, now that I had like time to digest what the fuck that was about last episode at the end, is that like Bennick, like his default state of being is like independence to the point of being like, I mean, if I can solve it myself, I don't need to bring other people to it. And that wasn't really like a factor in the first game he was in, because the overarching like premise for him was, hey, your job is to assist these people. So then he was like, okay, well, that's the priority up here, and then like everything else. But now that he was just like, I guess I'm helping these guys out. No one's really it's not like the dean telling me to help these guys. And then he just kind of like shifted back to his old state of like, what's this one person? I mean, if I can fix it myself, why do I have to like bring other people into it? And then, you know, Eric reminding him that it's like, hey, you're the group. You're the group, by the way. You feel free to wake us up, no one's gonna be mad, etc.
Yeah, the mom of the group.
Right. Yeah. No. I agree. It's just, it was like old habits die hard situation.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Brown Bear, for the gifted subs as well, you bloody champion. To Serum and McBluff. Congratulations, guys. Sorry, carry
there's
on.
part of me like, Serum wasn't subbed to our channel.
He may have lapsed. He definitely was at one point.
Yeah, I'm like, I could have sworn he
Lapsed
wasn't.
subscriber.
I
Sorry,
made my
Brendan, carry on.
subscription permanent because I'm like, I probably should be subscribed to your channel, like technically.
Yeah.
No, I was going to ask how Dan thought that encounter would have worked if Bennick had woken up Eric, but I actually don't really want to know that answer because I'm happy with the story that it told.
Yeah.
Yeah. You won't get it then.
We saw him being badass. That's enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was far cooler to watch as just one person, and I think also more acceptable for the three of us, for one person to kind of have their moment rather than for two of us, and then for two.
The other two did just like a nice slap.
Just yeah.
It definitely felt epic, like alone in the dark forest with an unknown assassin, and he's keeping up. Like it's impressive.
Yeah.
If only it went better. That whole person, I was like, please let this work. Please.
Good attempt. Yeah.
It was probably the most invested that I've been in combat for a long time.
Yeah.
particularly considering we weren't even a part of it. But I was, really on the edge of my seat because I was concerned that Benedict might just die. Like two sessions into joining the party.
I was mildly concerned he might die.
I mean,
I was just sitting
same.
there going, what the hell do we do if he dies? He could die. He went off on his own to fight this person.
Yeah.
Don't worry, he wouldn't have died. She would have knocked him out and dragged him away.
Yeah,
Same.
that's what I thought. Yeah. Also,
Yeah.
do we have Revivify at all? Like anyone can cast that shit?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Sweet.
They even have the material components to do so.
Nice.
Yeah. We had Revivify on 2 people, and we all pulled our gold so that we could afford 2 diamonds, and then Javier took one. So
Oh my god, what a bitch.
Now the Death Squad has one as well.
Yes.
Hey Serum, good to see you, buddy.
Yay, serum.
to be fair, Eric's he offered the diamond back to Eric when he left, and
Yeah.
and Eric said, "No, keep it because you'll be back." Brendan thinking that he would be back.
Well, that was, in fairness to Lux, that was their intention at the time.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
thank you so much for the follow, Sultan Buttery, which is an excellent name.
Oh, nice.
Let's see,
My favorite
very-
Sultan.
Yeah, Buttery Sultan.
I just had a vision of like a message bug. They wouldn't have like message birds in this universe, I feel. But like a message bug turning up, just carrying a bottle of healing potion with a note on it that says, "Hi Eric, I'm really sorry. I won't be back for a while. You might want to take this." It's just the fucking healing potion. I'm sorry I took this. I thought I'd be back, and now I'm not going to be back for a while. So
Yeah, I'm busy resurrecting the dead.
I'm imagining like a post bee in a little post person cap and with a little post bag. Just oh, that's so cute.
Can confirm that is how post is delivered in the Humblewood now.
I'm Bumblebee.
Trained
I
carrier
want it
bees.
to be. A part of me wants it to be wasps, so you don't fuck with the posts ever.
Oh no! Listen,
Yeah,
I
'cause-
think that's for bills. Like the bills get mailed to you. That's a wasp ring. It's just
Court summons. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like your different bugs for different types of posts.
Salt and buttery is the best way to go there. I agree.
I was just thinking that, in the mail, at least here in Australia, when you've got a speeding fine based on the colour of the paper and what's on the envelope. So I think it's the same kind of thing. That, here's a fucking wasp coming for me.
there's a fucking
If you
wasp.
get something from the Department of Transport and your like rego is not due for New York,
I mean, Eric's whole family are wasps, but a different kind.
We see what you did.
Castellan suggests, and I really like this idea, and I was actually thinking, when I read the subclass Spore Cleric, Spore Druid, I was like, so obviously this is just a pile of wasps in a trench coat.
Intimidating, so intimidating. Also, speaking of postage and like fun things, this is quite an interesting little thing. So obviously, Russia is in the shit right now, and one of
What?
the things that is
Why?
in the shit, yeah,
Oh, okay.
it's a long story.
Okay.
Basically, some people are assholes. But anyway, what?
What?
Yeah.
TLDR.
Can't relate.
TLDR, some people who have power are also assholes. Whoops. Anyway, so a lot of shit is going down, but one of the things that was surprising for many is that we don't have enough paper, office paper and stuff, because like supply lines were.
How's
were
loo
cut
roll?
and, like,
You right for toilet roll?
It's fine. No, that's
Okay.
fine. But
Okay.
the office paper sometimes like suddenly got a hit, and like a bag of A4 paper was like 1,000 and up in rubles, which is it's not like dollars, but it's still steep for paper. Anyway, what that brought is very hilarious stuff. Like when I was summoned to court, the summon was on this tiny little thingy. Like, oh hey, because they don't have paper, so they
You've
have
got to come
chop
to
everything
court.
down. Yeah,
Come on.
come to court, bitch.
It's written in tiny font.
To court,
Yes,
bitch.
yeah, it was so fucking
Everyone's
funny.
being told they're gonna reduce
This
their
is
font
Russia.
sizes, no double
Yeah.
spacing.
So obviously I was pissed and everything, but also I was like, that's cute, that's funny.
But you don't need now as large a frame to frame your court summons as well. which I assume you have framed
framed?
in your.
Why would
Oh, isn't
Like,
that something you
look
do
at
there?
this
So
sick
maybe
console.
an Australian thing. We frame all of our legal documents.
Why?
I'm kidding.
He's talking shit, sorry, it's not him.
I believed you.
I thought you might have framed it because you might have been proud of how you got it, because you should be.
I'm not proud. I'm salty as fuck.
Yeah.
Fair. Though I will say, the weirdest thing I've ever received in the post that I kind of do want to frame, I still have it, I have kept it. So I received a physical piece of like a scam letter. So I'm used to getting scam emails all the time, like, oh, you've inherited this money from wherever. You know, you've got to get in contact with these people and say this, and then you can have the money. I received a physical letter in the post with a fucking stamp on it saying, you have inherited this money in Spain, and you need to get in contact with this legal firm. But it was quite cunning because they're like, you have an unusual surname, and I'm like, well, in Australia that's true. I feel like in Europe that's a lot less true.
Yeah. Loads of schlinks in Europe.
Yeah. Strange, given, you know. Anyway, and so I received this physical letter saying I need to get in contact with this law firm about this Spanish fortune I've inherited. And I'm like, okay, this is funny. This is genuinely funny because, like, they've gone to a lot of effort. You know, they've printed this letter off and they've mailed it to me. But what was hilarious is they clearly had the letter pre-made, and then they'd kind of inserted, like, my name and the various details into the letter.
It was in a different font.
It was in a different font. So you could see the bit. It's like those freaking like when you could get those personalized books made and they just fill in your name.
Yeah.
And if they'd pre-print the book and then put the name in later, you could tell because it didn't mesh with the
Greetings,
rest of it.
insert name here. I see you are also present. Yeah.
So it's this letter with, you know, these random bits that are in a different font. And the funniest part was that it was saying, oh, you've inherited this money in Spain. But the lawyers and, like, the people I had to contact were, like, on the other side of Europe. I can't remember exactly where they were, but it was somewhere in Eastern Europe.
Yeah.
Oh,
like,
of course.
This
The
Spanish
trusted law
inheritance,
firm
but
of
don't
Bulgarian,
contact
Romanian,
anyone
and
in
Russian, yeah.
Spain. You gotta contact these people. I found
Actually,
it was
reasonably confident they were in Switzerland.
Oh, it might have been Switzerland.
Yeah, might have been Moldova. Like Western Europeans, we love scamming. We love that shit. But also, I've never received a scam letter. I think we just, like, export all of them. We
don't shit
like,
where you eat. Yeah.
Yeah, but also, you know what's funny? What they do around here? I live in an old kind of house, so there's a lot of old people around. So I hear sometimes where people get scammed because, like, well, old people like having money, a lot of money at home. I don't know why, but they just love doing it. So
Sure.
they get scammed sometimes. But
It's so they can bathe in it.
Yeah.
Sure. And one thing that people, like, advertising people do here is they send you a letter and there's, like, red letters like notice. You like, oh shit, you open, like, oh, there's no, please notice that we have a new place for massage for old people in town. I'm like, bitch, the fucking red letters don't coincide with that little thing. It's kind of funny.
All right. Did everybody answer my fun question?
What was the question?
What was the question?
Yeah, what have you learned about your characters? I don't think Karen
I think so.
Yeah, I think Kesh realizing that she isn't always the best person for a job, but if she's the
Okay.
person that's there and able to do the job, she will freaking do the job.
Yeah, cool. All right.
Like she's like I don't think Kesh considers herself the best person to solve a government/cult conspiracy, but she's the person who's there, so
She's the one who's there.
They're
well,
proactive.
not the hero they
Yeah.
deserved, the
but
hero
the one
that
they
was
have
there
right
then.
now. So, I'm going to throw you in a little bit of the deep end because I've decided I would like to play just a little bit of D&D tonight.
Nah, son of redacted.
I'm out.
Scamming.
Scamming. We've been bamboozled.
I insist on being scammed via
Really
registered post only. Thank you.
I do love, and I will keep that all post in the all post in the Humblewood is delivered by little bees wearing hats. Just a little bit, but we've got so many people here. I thought we should probably play just a little bit of D&D. So,
You didn't say there was going to be D&D.
I don't. You love just a little bit of D&D, don't you?
Will there be a little bit of a role play in this D&D?
Well, you didn't say anything about custard. Okay.
Just
So-
always, see what happens.
Help me.
So, the following morning, you awaken.
Oh, good. I'm
After
glad.
a good night's sleep.
Bumblebee comes in with a letter.
After assassin attacked, you awake.
You
That's
awaken.
very
Good
good.
eggs.
Yeah, that's great.
Good start.
I suppose, yeah. All I want to do is the scene where you wake up.
Okay.
Not too much, just a little bit. If you had
Okay.
eggs,
Well,
fucking
obviously Julio will cook breakfast.
Sure.
Obviously.
bugback bacon.
Eric had the last shift, so he was already awake.
Yeah. Saw the sunrise.
Casual
I'm,
wake
I'm,
up.
I'm still bleeding.
Oh yeah, we see that he's
No,
fucked
I
up.
saw
Yeah.
Blood stains.
Blood stains, but I
said
fixed
blood
up the
stains.
wounds.
Yeah.
That's what I meant.
He visibly healed over the 4 hours that Eric was on watch. But you guys, the other three, I would say that the other two rather, do wake up before Bennick. Bennick is, yeah, he's had a bit of, he's having a power nap. Eric.
Ash will probably check on Bennick, like make sure he's like still alive.
Is he a tosser? Does he like move around in his sleep? What's that all that?
It seems that there was an attack during the night. There was someone that Bennick noticed creeping up on us during his watch, and he decided to chase her. Obviously, he came out a little worse for the wear, but I've healed him up a bit. I've made sure that he's not going to bleed out or die in his sleep or choke on his tongue. But
He doesn't look so good.
well, I was hoping that a bit of a sleep would help him out.
Poor thing.
So who was that? Who attacked? Do you know?
I don't know. I don't know if Bennick knew. I mean, we can ask him more about what he noticed, but it's probably someone from the camp.
Oh. Well, this is concerning. Is there a reason you didn't wake us up when this happened?
I wasn't awake.
Wait, who was awake?
Bennick. That's why Bennick's the one who was attacked.
I don't know, but he just woke Eric up when he came back, didn't he?
Yes.
Well, for the next shift.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, is there a reason he didn't wake any of us up when he went off to fight someone in the woods in the middle of the night? Just putting that out there.
We had a little bit of a chat. I didn't want to rake him over the coals too much, but I think he understands that next time he shouldn't go out by himself, and that we would not have been upset about him letting us know.
Yeah. He could have died.
Yeah.
That would have been problematic on various levels. Oh.
Yeah. It would have given Trish another reason to hate my guts.
Oh, she's pretty far down that road already. Offense.
No.
Tash, how close are we to that fort?
Yeah.
Still the best part of a day's travel. Like, well, 6 hours at least.
Is it possible that we are being tracked or followed or watched over in some capacity that we are not aware of?
Yeah,
I'm
well,
happy
this
for
is my
Bennick to
thinking,
wake up
6.
now that they've had this bit of this discussion as well.
I was like,
Also,
I'm
I-
ready to go into another power nap. I just needed to call so I had to break
I
character for a
gently-
I
hot
don't want
second.
Dan to. We don't want to lose Dan. So.
Oh yeah, I gently wafted the smell of bacon and eggs
Yeah.
into his nose.
He'd probably say, as he's like rustling because he does look like he's having a nightmare.
Should someone poke him?
Yeah. I wake up Bennick gently.
How?
Sam, wait.
Describe exactly how you do that. Lightsaber stab. Yeah.
Warm.
Kind of kneeling next to him. That was good. Kneeling next to him, hand gently on the shoulder. Not over him.
Yeah.
Not with a very long stick. Just...
You're there.
Well, then
Not
that,
an animal.
I probably won't hit you then, as I would yell whatever I just said as I sit up.
What did you just say?
I said, Sev, wait. And then...
Sev, wait.
Sav,
Frantically.
S-A-V.
S-A-V. Sav, wait. I went back through our Discord chat, Dan, and realized that you offered me the information that I now desperately want. You were like, hey, do you want his backstory or no? And I'm like, I'm good not knowing it, and I'm regretting that choice now.
So I have all the cards in my hands.
Yeah. Yeah. And I can't work any of them into the story because I don't know them.
He's the mysterious onion of backstories. There's just layers upon layers, and no one can see the next layer until the top layer is peeled away.
Sav, wait. Well, there's a layer. Okay, carry on.
That's not
you
what's
guys.
for breakfast.
Delicious.
Bacon.
Are you okay, Bennick?
Yeah, I'm fine. Thank you for earlier this morning.
That's okay. I was just letting Kesh and Julio know what happened.
Do you want to be interrogated now, or would you like us to wait till after breakfast? Because I have a lot of questions.
Interrogation? Oh, God, it's gonna be like being at the dean's office all over again for beating up a kid or something.
I'm not mad. I'm just
disappointed.
concerned.
That's what the dean always says. Yeah, it's definitely an
I'm sorry.
interrogation.
I'm sorry.
Wait, he wasn't mad when you hit someone?
Yeah,
It's just disappointing.
you beat someone up?
Well, they were
he's
being
a
a
jock.
dick about it.
Were you a bully?
No.
Why
What?
did you get sent to the dean's office then?
Oh, look, I think we're focusing on the wrong piece of
I was in this
Let's
bird
go back to
call.
this.
Look, I'm going to make an arbitrary decision. We're all going to eat breakfast and enjoy it and say thank you to Julio, and then we will subject Bennick to the many, many questions we have about what happened last night.
I mean,
Strong family vibes right now.
Everybody stop fighting! We are going to enjoy our breakfast. You will thank
why
your
don't
mother.
you just ask me while we're eating?
Well, if you're comfortable with that, I don't want to ruin your morning too early.
No, that's fine. I don't think it
Okay.
matters.
What
Karen,
can you
you
tell
might
us
spoil
about
Thank you for the
breakfast.
bacon, Julio.
Thank you, Julio.
Julio? This is delicious. Now, Bennick,
Uh-huh.
I want you to tell me in excruciating detail
Mm-hmm.
what happened. Starting with you hear a noise. You're on watch and you hear a noise.
Oh,
Mysterious
earlier
noise.
today. Sorry, yeah. I heard a noise.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to see what the noise was about. But I mean, we covered the tracks pretty well, so I had to, ready myself, and I cast the spell. I guess I was a little bit too loud because then they started to drift away. But then they already knew that we were here, and we don't know who they were, so I decided to just give chase and maybe see who it was, and then come back.
Okay. And what
Well,
transpired?
I gave chase. I lost them for a bit, and then they almost clotheslined me, but I did this sick. Never mind. That's not part of it. It's not part of it. We had a brawl.
Huh?
Let's just say they were dressed. They didn't really have any. I told Eric this earlier this morning, but they didn't really have any noticeable insignias or anything really too discriminating. or incriminating rather. That's the right word.
Right.
And I don't know, they were very, very angry. I just wanted to, ask them a question, definitely not in a threatening way. And they decided to insult my mother instead. And so, one thing led to another. We beat each other up. I'm pretty sure she was like a Corvum. I described the person in detail as much as I can, Josh.
Okay.
She was a corpus, yeah.
Was she well dressed or well armored?
Leathers, no identifying marks. Definitely didn't look like a tender. Dark cloak, all in browns, greys, blacks.
What kind of weaponry did she have?
She had like a rapier and a dagger.
It was a scimitar.
Sorry, a scimitar. I was very well acquainted with it.
Yeah.
Because she stabbed me with both.
Yeah.
Ow.
To the best of our knowledge, are scimitars like popular inland?
Not super. No, actually, I do apologize. I will just check my notes. I'm pretty sure it was a scimitar, but I could be wrong. I'm remembering it. It is a saber.
Saber.
A saber, which would qualify technically. Technically it is a scimitar. It's 1d6 plus 3 slashing. Yeah.
Do I know of what kind of
Saber.
warriors carry sabers?
No. It's not an unpopular item with pirates, actually. But there no particular it's not the identifying weapon of any particular group that you know of. They are not unpopular with criminals. Pretty much anybody. They're one of the simpler kinds of sword to get your head around, so not a relatively easy thing to learn to use quite effectively. But other than that,
did you piss anybody off that want to kill you in the middle of the night in a cave?
Yes. I think the answer to everyone here is yes.
Yeah.
Can I do I suppose a history check? To see if kind of the description of this person rings any bells in terms of bad people I've encountered
yeah, you may.
in my history. No. Oh, sorry, I shouldn't have clicked D&D Beyond. I'm probably frozen.
No, actually,
No, you're fine.
Oh, okay. The dice is rolling in slow motion, so that's a bit weird.
Yeah, look.
Which is really raising the tension for me, because the one just came up on the top and I was like, don't stop! Well, I got a 10 on my history check, which is not great, and I was hoping for better given the build-up that I just had, so...
Valid. A 10. Sorry, what were you looking to learn? I was just getting the dice roller up.
If I would, does the way that Bennick has described this person and their way they stalked and attacked him, does that ring a bell for me? Have I encountered someone who operates or would be dressed and armed in this way before?
Not especially. Not to any particular degree. Standard stealthy assassin-y kind of thing for you, as far not that you a modus operandi. It's not a particularly unusual modus operandi. It's worthy to note that the person did not attack, and when they were detected, they retreated rather than, or when they thought they might have been detected, they retreated rather than get closer. They did not pick the fight, and only turned to fight when Bennett gave chase, is the most noteworthy thing about it. So definitely didn't want to be followed.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
And this is I don't know, kind of a long walk, but bear with me here. So Julio was part of the pirate crew that had a fort, right?
Yeah.
Had a base that was well equipped, well protected. What I'm thinking is 6 hours away is quite far. Can I, based on my knowledge, understand if she's like a wider ring of protection and surveillance, or she's probably not connected to the fort?
Based on your experience, can you make me a... History wouldn't really be the thing, because... Yeah, it would be too obvious for history. Straight intelligence, Julio.
Straight in. Okay. Well, that's unfortunate for me. I'm gonna use inspiration on this
Very
one.
well, very well.
Ooh.
In which case, seeing as you're using it today, I'll let you keep it. You can just burn your spare.
Aw.
So roll straight intelligence with advantage.
Okay. Please be good. Please be. Oh, it's a natural 20, 21.
Ooh, shit. Okay.
Nice.
Julio, yeah, it's a good question. It's a valid question, and you possibly raise it with Kesh, and Kesh, who is familiar with military maneuvers and deployments. Sort of between the two of you, you run this over your brain cells, and 6 hour perimeter, like a 6 hour distant perimeter, is big. It's probably unnecessarily large, unless they were looking for something specific. Unless they were pre-warned that somebody would be coming from a particular direction. 6 hour perimeter, like a radius, that is just too much to deploy troops to protect the entire thing. That being said, they could have gotten lucky. This person did not appear to be standard military. You know that there are two major military organizations in the Humblewood. Kesh works for one of them, and the other has taken a lot of losses and really doesn't deploy outside of Alderheart. They are the town guard, really. And at this point, they don't have the numbers to do much more. That's why the Wildwood Brigade was formed, to sort of pick up the slack. So, in terms of professional military force, you think you know where they would all be, and this doesn't sound like them. That would be what your nat 20 gets you. Although, actually, sorry, a nat 20 also, you remember that gangs went missing.
That was my follow-up question. So my question is, I know the Breakers and the 6th Alley went missing, but I kind of presumed that because they're in the roots in the slums, they would be all humble folk. But did it seem like there was
No, I
criminal
said,
element
I
there?
did say that the 6th Alley gang was primarily birdfolk.
Oh, I missed that somehow. Okay, so I was thinking, yes, we have these two gangs. So, maybe.
So my assumption about these missing gangs was that they were incarcerated, but potentially they have been recruited as guards.
And
yeah,
deployed.
The rumor was that they all kind of got involved in something and disappeared. Maybe they disappeared because they left the city to go to this strange place.
But why though? How can you afford all of that?
That
Well,
is
because
the $1 million
the cult has
question.
money. Yeah.
Why? Is like one of the gangs is a bird gang, but would there be a gang particularly known for your mama jokes?
So, he didn't. I want to be clear. She never really insulted your mum. She just he said like, "Who sent you?" And he said, "Your mum." That's literally as far as it went. He didn't.
You know,
she didn't
mothers
say your
were-
mum sucks.
You don't have to defend them, Josh. That's how I took that.
Mums were involved, and you know how
mums
some
were
people.
mentioned.
Mums were mentioned.
yeah.
Mums. So is it? Would it? Is
No, is the answer.
Ah, yes,
that single
that
turn of
famous,
phrase. Yeah,
the famous Alderheart gang,
Your
the
mama
Mother
gang.
Lovers.
yeah.
guys, that would be the best gang ever. Whenever like you get caught or
Yeah.
involved with them, they're like, you can't like get into a conversation with them because they're like, it's like, what do you want? Your mama, and it just goes nowhere.
Yeah,
Hashtag
your mom.
your mama gang.
Also, if they like threaten you with death, they'll say, oh, I'll send you to the mama's basement, and that's the next step. Although I
Tell
tell
your mama what you've been up to.
Humblewood
Oh,
version
yeah.
of Davy Jones's locker is your mama's basement.
mama's basement. Although I did hear that your mama gang is in a tough war with the D's Nuts gang. That's a tough one.
Oh
The D's
no.
gang.
And Daria, that fully justifies my decision to give you the inspiration.
Thank
I was
you.
just gonna say, could you get a new inspiration
Yeah,
for
yeah.
that one?
No,
that was
I can't
priceless.
hoard
You all have
inspirations.
inspiration, you can't hoard it. Totally using that in my campaign if you don't. Sultan Buttery, you're welcome to it.
Oh.
You mother gang. No. The other gang is like famously heavies. They are like, they're not thinkers. The gang that was more humble folk orientated, where they didn't really care
seven.
what they did, and they were the breakers were just buff guys that go around breaking stuff. Mostly protection rackets and Sultan battery, that sort of thing.
Right. So,
Did you say salt and buttery like the?
Yeah, I did. That's I believe the
Okay.
joke Sultan Buttery was making is a Sultan battery. Is a
Cameo,
Oh.
Sultan
Yeah.
back.
See, I'm a dumb bitch. I was like, that's like a good topping.
It's a criminal, like it's a legal term in English. Is Sultan battery is something you can be charged with
Oh.
legally.
Like
Beating
assault
someone up.
and then
Battering them
Ah,
up.
I
Yeah.
s-
Yeah.
I see.
It's both.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sultan Buttery's confirmed it's both, so
It's both,
it's showed
yeah.
there. You're not.
It is
wrong.
also a delicious covering.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
I assume Sultan battery is a delicious covering.
it's when you try to bribe the judge with salt
I-
and butter popcorn to try and get out of
I
the
mean,
charges. It's
that
like,
could
I
work.
know they charged me with salt and battery, but this salt and battery popcorn. says
Popcorn,
I
yeah.
didn't do anything. Your
I mean,
Honor.
I'm learning a lot today. I'm learning
Yeah.
that I'm crook means I'm sick. Hey,
Yeah.
that's something.
Yeah. Can
I never
confirm.
even thought of that being a weird kind of English thing, but I guess it would be, yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
I'm
no,
so
when I
quick
first
today.
came out here, I was like, the fuck are you talking about? Yep. There's a lot of Aussie slang that doesn't make a huge amount of sense. Anyway.
Was it who did I confuse by saying buggered? It's like, yeah, I'm really sick. I'm totally buggered. And
I
someone's
mean,
like,
maybe
what?
me. The only thing I know about Aussie slang is that you love the word cunt. That's all I know. That's literally all I know.
Look, it's involved, and making things end with e, like
Yeah.
pokies,
Or-
spikies.
Or Arvo. I
Yeah,
know what you're
Arvo,
talking
bottle
about.
o.
We just truncate things because we're lazy.
Yeah.
We just make everything shorter. Except
That's
for yes and no, which are either
Unless-
yeah,
yeah.
nah, or nah, yeah.
Unless it's really short already, in which case we make it unnecessarily long. Like,
Do you say
yeah.
crikey?
Nah.
Do you say crikey?
Not
No?
often.
Is that a British
Not
thing?
nearly often enough.
Not as often as people think we do,
Yeah, it is an Aussie thing, but it's a stereotype that not many of us actually live up to.
unless you're from Queensland.
It was
You
very
should.
much. It was like Steve Irwin's thing. Steve Irwin said crikey a lot as a
Look, in
surprise, but
fairness
he
to
never
Steve
swore.
Irwin, if you're going to be like a TV personality in a family-friendly demographic and you're Australian, there is a real dearth of swear words you can use that are acceptable on TV,
Yeah.
particularly outside Australia. Like, you can say shit on TV in Australia and no one cares, but you can't in America, which blows my mind. You can say crap, but you can't say shit. So I'm like, I imagine there was at some point, you know,
Discussion.
what's a swear word or an exclamation you can use that's acceptable, and some people are
well,
like
marketable as well.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure there's all
That
kinds
was
of
his whole
merch
thing.
with crikey on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so marketable. Very
When
clever.
we were moving out here, when my family were moving to Australia, we did a bit of research, and Steve Irwin was the first thing we found. Of like, let's learn about Australia, and we're like, okay, so they're all insane.
Who is Steve Owen? Who's that?
He's an Australian naturalist. He unfortunately passed away very young, but yeah, he was all conservation and protection of animals in Australia. If you want, he was the crocodile
He's a
hunter, very
natural
famously.
treasure, Daria.
National treasure. He
Oh, that dude.
Yeah.
Oh, because when I googled it, it's like a weird dude from the BBC soap opera EastEnders. I'm like, that's not what you're
No.
talking
No, it's
about.
a different one.
Steve Irwin, the crocodile hunter, will get
the
you.
shorts guy, the blonde guy.
yeah.
Yeah, the khaki
Yeah.
shorts.
Yeah, he has
Oh,
a
yeah,
zoo.
yeah.
He's all into reptiles, like animals that aren't cuddly, and he was unfortunately killed by a stingray. he got a barb in the heart from a stingray, and it killed him. And it was deeply sad. Somebody in the media said he was Australia's Princess Diana. To which our wonderful comedian Adam Hill said, "What, you mean the stingray? The Queen paid the stingray to do it?"
It was so weird when he died though, because like he was a bit of a joke inside Australia for a lot of people. Because
we liked him, but it was like he's weird and funny, but yeah, we
seems
like him, but he's
wholesome.
also a bit. Yeah, he was. But he was also a bit of like mad.
Yeah.
I was in my last or second last year of high school when it happened, and the news broke in the morning recess, and the air outside in the courtyard was somber. Everyone was silently mourning Steve Irwin.
So I was. Stingray's name was Paparazzi. I think it's one of those things. Yeah, for Aussies, it's like the Twin Towers. You remember where you were when you found out. And like I was in England, doing a gap year teaching, and all of the kids there, despite being British born and having lived in Australia for less than 4 years when I was there, they all assumed I was Australian. They decided I sounded Aussie. I don't, but. So they all thought I was an Aussie and basically assumed I was, and I had them all convinced that we rode kangaroos to school, because kangaroos are the size of horses. This is true and canon. And because my predecessor had told them that, and they're like, "Nah, that's rubbish. Josh won't lie to us. Josh, can you confirm?" I was like, "Oh, definitely, absolutely, yeah." My little brothers used to get in the pouch. And yeah, they were all. I had kids coming up to me all morning saying, "We're really sorry. Are you okay?" And I was just like, "Yeah, I'm fine. What the fuck are you talking about?" But no one told me what had happened. So it was only at recess when I got up to the staff room and opened the newspaper, and somebody said, I was like, "Oh, have a look at the front page." And I opened it up and like, "Huh? How?" Because like the standard assumption in Australia was, well, something will. Like he messes around with dangerous animals for a living. He baits crocodiles. I've seen a video of the man holding a crocodile by its tail, going, "Oh, he's a feisty one here, isn't he? He's an angry one." And we were like, "Yeah, he is, because you're holding by his tail." You insane person. Had all my friends in Europe believing drop bears. Oh, it's so much fun.
What is a drop bear?
Oh, it's like a koala, but more angry. They
Bloodthirsty.
They drop on your
koala.
face and just tear the skin right off.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just fall out of trees on you.
I see that it's a joke. Like, I see. Like, what are you doing? Like, I see that.
No, but you get like Mortal Kombat fatality. Just like walking past
my
a tree.
spine cracks. Yeah.
It's one of those things that Australians just all silently agree.
We all do,
that
yeah.
It's a joke that you always play.
You always lean in.
Yeah. If the foreigner doesn't already know that it's a joke, then you'll be hard pressed to have any Australian who tells you straight away.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
dude,
there'll be normally boom snakes as well. Boom snakes will come up, which look exactly like look exactly like sticks. So you can never tell. Like if they lie very still, it's impossible to tell if it's a snake or it's a boom.
Well, that's true for specific lizards and stuff. Like that is something that happens. So it's easy to believe. When I was in China, I made my teacher believe that in Russia we have naturally blue dogs that were like the breed was made by Ekaterina the Great because she just loved the like powdery blue color, and like for a week she believed.
I'd believe that.
That's amazing.
If told with enough conviction, I would believe that about Russia. Yeah.
Because I added enough detail that it makes sense.
That was the trick. And when the kids are like, "Do you ride kangaroos?" and I said, "Yeah, of course. Have you ever seen a kangaroo?" and they're like, "Yeah, not in real life." And I was like, "Yeah, they're really huge." Like if they had admitted that they had seen a kangaroo, I was just like, "Well, yeah, obviously, but you can't get more than one person on." I was like, "Yeah, no, they're about the size of a horse." My little brother, who's only like 6, he can actually get in the pouch, so he would ride in the pouch of my kangaroo on the way to school, and you just baffle them with detail. It's the best way. Santa does it. Santa always. Kids are like, "Oh, you know, Santa, have you how did you get here today, Santa?" I was like, "Oh, well, I came here on Schnitzel. He's my backup reindeer, you see. He's in training. He's still quite young, so..."
Oh, by the way, people in chat, Josh is a certified Santa, so
I'm actually
that
can
is
confirm.
something.
I'm actually Santa.
Yeah, we are Santa worshippers here.
Speak for yourself.
D&D did get us into Santa worshipping.
Yeah, Santa worship.
Santa worshipping, yeah.
But-
The Santa.
Dan-
The Santa.
Dan-
Santa. Panic.
Dan is a lapsed Santa worshipper.
Yeah, I went to rehab.
I am Santa agnostic, because first of all, in Russia we have a different guy, and he has a hot ass
Santa
granddaughter, so I don't know. I don't subscribe to the Santa lore that much.
Okay. Well,
How dare.
I remember a Santa one-shot or something. Yeah, Bishop Blood, I've worn the costume on stream a couple of times. It was really uncomfortable one morning.
Christmas in Australia with like European-inspired costumes is a
Such an
time.
insane thing. Anyway, we should go away from here now because I did build this as like a shorter session, and you guys have almost had a normal full-length session now. So we will go
Did
away.
we wrap up that conversation we were having with
I don't
Jenny?
know. We kind of got
We
derailed.
so did
it was a
not.
good idea.
We
so,
did
yeah.
not for sure.
So,
Let's
hold
wrap
on,
that up.
hold on. We kinda got derailed.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
It's been a different vibe.
You
tonight.
should have just let me roleplay being asleep.
My name
Yeah.
derailed you. Yeah, it did actually. Salt and Buttery is where we started.
Oh my god, it was.
Okay.
Let's
so
not
we're-
go there again.
So, Julio.
Anyway, those are some of the creatures that we could encounter here. So
Oh my
gang,
god.
The gangs.
Nice
The
segue.
gangs are the ones that went missing and maybe could have been hired. Yes.
Right.
Right.
I am concerned about how they found us because between Kesh's knowing the woods very well and my spells, I would have thought that we would have been very difficult to detect. Unless they noticed smoke or the fire, but I'm pretty sure that was banked.
Well,
Benek, you could make not Benek, I apologize. Eric, you could make
Yeah, for
a,
mine.
like, I guess survival?
I will say, I don't know much about magic, but what if they also have it, like we do?
Nice. Okay, 20.
That could be true, but Benek, did that person that you tussled with show any kind of magic?
Nope.
there is the other possibility that it was just plain old good luck on their part. Because it's
Could
a big
be.
old forest, and if they've got random people out, surveying, it may just be complete chance that they stumbled across us.
Eric,
Or, and I hate to say this, they knew we were coming, so knew roughly where to look.
they knew from where you were coming, where you were roughly going, and they knew where exactly to look for. Eric, your survival check, and your knowledge of the area, there ain't that many good overnighting spots if you wanted to get out of the weather in this area.
Perhaps she's actually like underground ally. What if she's also investigating this stuff? And when Benek saw her, she's like, I don't want to fight with people. Maybe she's actually good.
That was my first thought. Was that she could have been someone who was either escaping or was trying to mount her own one-person rescue, but that doesn't seem likely now.
I'm just gonna
Wait.
bother to fucking talk.
Wait, Benek.
Yeah?
You can't message. You can message them, right?
Yeah, sure. I
Within
can.
a certain range. But you could send her.
Sending. Yeah.
No.
We can try to strike up a conversation and learn something.
Ugh.
Be like, hey,
Okay.
sorry about the fight. What's going on? We're a little confused.
Well, wait, I don't hate the idea, but if we may be getting to this compound later today, then we do want Benek to be at full energy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could always just, pop it in the mystery pile for future kind of
Well,
investigation. Mind you, the mystery pile's getting damn big, you guys.
Yeah.
There's a lot of mystery in that pile.
It's not a
Wait.
pile anymore.
we can see if the mystery doesn't unravel itself when we get to the compound. We may well see her there. I mean, it's up to you, Bennick, but I'm aware of the fact that if she was not talkative when you were there in person, then she may choose not to respond to this message.
I mean, I think at the very least, you don't want to like call them the day after. It's barely been a day.
Yeah.
So
Don't wanna
You
seem
don't want her to
needy.
think you're
Too
desperate.
Yeah.
yeah, and also I think she's still a bit pissy about it. So there's time to cool off.
Listen, Bennett, this all reminds me of my relationship. Good times. Good times.
So,
Oh, what kind?
Oh, my ex-girlfriend, she's very cool. Also tried to kill me. It's complicated.
Oh,
I
Mine
think
did
having an
too.
ex that tries to kill you is the definition of complicated.
I think it's how you become a hero in this part of
Wait,
the world.
Bennett, who was your ex-girlfriend who tried
Oh.
to kill you?
I don't have an ex. It's fine. But like, my
So a
significant other
current-
tried to kill me.
A current
Wait,
partner
you
tried
still
to-
have it? And you're like fine with it?
Yeah, I'm not from here. Is that weird here?
Yeah, a
Well,
little.
usually folk that try to kill each other, the union doesn't last because someone dies.
Oh.
Yeah. Apart
But
from,
that's just weakness,
feeling
though.
betrayed because, someone tried to kill you.
Bennick is actually a mantis.
That's spoiler alert. You did
That's
read
with the
her
cannibalism.
backstory. How dare you?
Bennick, I seem to remember you mentioning at the wedding that you're married.
Oh, yeah.
I think I am.
You think you are?
Yeah. After seeing your cousin, was it, if I remember right?
Yeah.
Do the promise vow thing.
Do you not have marriage where you're from?
I mean, not like marriage.
Okay. You
I
keep
don't think
saying you're not
we don't really
around
call
here.
it that.
Where are you from?
I'm from this like more deserty-ish place than this. I was gonna say like a savanna, but there are some like plainsy bits around in the Humblewood. It's quite shit. We call it the Blight Sea, but I think the
Blight
name
Sea?
changes depending. Yeah.
As a sailor, did I hear about that region at all?
Yeah, probably. Would any
Is
of
it
it be
shit?
coastal?
They're part of it. It's probably coastal.
Yeah,
but
so
it's
you'd know
not-
a little bit of
the
it.
sea is what you would know automatically from it is me playing the cards that Josh doesn't have.
Ask him
is,
more questions.
So,
The Blight Sea isn't a sea.
It's a desert.
Yeah, no, we understood that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, we got that. Yeah.
And the what you probably would hear about it is it's haunted. That's the story.
right.
Wow.
So, is there a reason you don't know if you're married or not? Because it seems like something you would know, right?
Well, we didn't have rings or like a party or people that had to witness, which I'm not sure yet if that's like actual criteria for it to be called marriage, but we did like promise each other like eternity or whatever.
Oh, so you're betrothed?
Is that not marriage?
I mean,
yeah,
it's-
I guess I'm betrothed.
It's basically the same thing. I mean, I would say that if you and your partner exchange vows of giving your life to each other, then that's marriage, regardless of how many people are around.
And then
Wait,
she tried to take that life.
yeah. Speaking of the
that was
eternity
before.
stuff, when you say giving life and forever, are you thinking like I'm gonna love you for this time, or I'm gonna make like a magic ritual and give my life to you with all the
In which case, what you got there is a warlock pact.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. It sounds wicked similar.
No.
I suppose my thing is that marriage is also kind of a legal concept. So if there's no paperwork, technically no one can prove that they're married. That's why, like, the people who do the wedding, they like make a note. So you can't marry multiple people.
I feel like we're getting off track yet again.
What are we going to do about this?
At least you're doing it in character.
I don't mind.
No, keep asking him questions. I need this.
So I suppose the real question is, do we want to try and track this person? Because presumably Bennett can show us where this took place, and there's probably going to be some blood or something, and we might be able to track them down. Or do we want to assume that they have come from where we're heading, and so we're probably better served by just heading in that direction, and that they might find us?
It shouldn't take long, right, to do either.
Right,
Yeah.
and I think it will give us at least some information. Like, if we know that they're headed there, it means we know that the people there are warned, which would inform how we approach it. I think it's important to do. Fresh tracks and all.
Yeah, absolutely. They've
Well-
only been there for a few hours.
Well, then let's go see if we can find where Bennett got attacked. and
This
take it
bacon's
from there.
good, by the way, Julio.
Yes,
thank you
excellent
so
breakfast,
much.
Julio. Thank you very much.
And the hash
Goodbye.
brown.
Bacon, yes.
We are
Cool.
very
that's
nourished and very...
sent me bacon.
And
Yep.
happily nourished and full of bacon and hash brown, we shall leave it there. Guys, thanks very much. That was a nice little scene to have, and a little treat for our raiders. Thank you so much to the people who followed today. And thank you for our new subs, Mr. Brown Bear. They, them, I don't know. I don't want to ascribe a gender. I don't know. But thank you so much for joining us, guys. Who the absolute heck have you been today? Let's go in reverse order. Daria, you've been many people today. Who the heck are you?
Today I've been Julio, but mostly I've been Daria, because we, percentage-wise, D&D versus just talking shit.
It's been a lot
Yeah,
of
that was
talking
not...
shit.
Yeah, not a lot of Julio there, but a lot of stupid me. But I'm an artist. I've done portraits you see for the characters here. I'm also commissionable, by the way. Some people try to leave their shitty country, so that's Pog. Yeah, I can be here sometimes. I can be on the Eldritch Scribe Twitch channel. We have a D&D session every Monday, so that's something. And my art you can find on Twitter with my weirdest handle, because I didn't know what to name me, and that's about it.
Ah. Link for commissioning, please, from Salt and Buttery. SmashZadasha.com would be the best way to do it.
Yes, feed me up on Twitter.
Dan, who the absolute heck are you?
Oh, it is I, Dan in the meat space, Deerb in the cyberspace. I need to just throw this Bennett voice in over here.
I love it. It's you've got your own thing like Rachel does.
Yeah.
When she gets really
Doing great.
threatening at the end.
But I don't need to do that with a Bennett voice.
No.
I just want you to know that I'm always lurking, and even if no one believes in me, I do, in the shadows. That's at least one person. Believe in yourself. Have confidence. Rip through reality and life. Take every name.
That was very epic and
We
scary.
needed some stirring crescendo. to
Did you
back
say
that up.
take every name?
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
That sounded just very badass. I'm gonna steal that for with the BDG. I will take every name.
Brendan, who the heck are you?
And I be referenced.
Yes. TM.
Quick, Pog, before we begin.
I am Brendan Ellis. I am a Pog champ. You better fucking love yourself, or I swear to God, I will love you instead.
Today, huh?
I'm an actor and director. I I'm only role-playing on this channel because nobody else has asked me anywhere else yet. A wink. Yet. But this is what I'm doing at the moment. It's pretty poggy.
This is escalating quickly. If you say so,
Yeah.
Mr. Sleep Paralysis Demon.
I like how when Brendan says poggy, the last note is so unsure every time.
I have no
like
idea.
poggy.
What even is it?
Poggy.
So another one of these talking shit ups next week? Look, Spina, when is it not? This is maybe a little more than normal, but...
I would be interested in chat's opinion. I've pitched to Josh that maybe one of these days we can do a Jackbox night.
Yeah.
So let us know if you'd be interested in that.
Wait, I have a big great idea. What about Jackbox but in character?
I've done that before. And it's so fun.
Yeah, it sounds like funny.
Heck
I played my drunk cleric. Anyway, Karen, it's your turn.
Karen, please tell us about yourself. Who the heck are you and what are you doing in my house?
Well, last time I checked, I live here. Yay!
That's true. That is true.
I covered your ass at work today. Be grateful.
Thank you.
Yes.
You dealt with
They
my
were very loud.
shitty children.
Oh my god. Apparently one of them has baby mode, where she just pretends to be a baby.
Isabella?
Yeah.
Little blonde one? Yeah. Did you have the twins?
Yes. I
Oh,
was
God.
worried. I was worried that she was actually disabled for a minute. And I was
No.
I feel like Josh would have told me.
Sort of. But it's more of a personality disability than any mental.
Yeah, she
me.
was.
That's
She was
me right there.
she was a weird child. Weird
Strange
child.
kid.
But
She was
they
also
did
the
manage
inventor of the murder granny concept.
to. Right. Okay. This is explaining so much.
Yeah,
Anyway.
did they
I'm
murder
Karen.
grannies with you?
Huh?
Did they do
No,
murder
we-
grannies with you? Good.
We did not do murder grannies.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm Karen. I'm a performer and writer. You can follow me on Twitter at Mother of Bunnies. You can follow me on Instagram as my sassy alter ego, Miss Lola Moore. You can also listen to me on the D&D podcast, There Be Dragons. New ep dropping real soon. It's out on Patreon. It'll be out for the rest of you plebs very soon.
And if you want, you could support the Patreon and get it slightly earlier. And other
Hey.
content, like Karen's character's whole family backstory, is a separate podcast.
Yes. Yes, we have a second podcast on the Patreon that's all about me.
And I
Great.
helped. Cool. Thanks very much, Karen. And Madame, Monsieur, Dame, Unterherren, and beings of indeterminate gender and persuasion, I be Josh the Pirate. You can find me here on my channel, Corsair's Cove, where I run D&D. But you've done that. Good job. Keep doing it. Thank you for the follows. Smash that button if you've enjoyed tonight's ridiculousness. It really like for me, I don't know, I can't say for Dan, but myself not feeling particularly well, this really buoyed me up. So yeah, it was just great fun, even if we didn't. And thank you for indulging me on actually playing the game as well a bit. If you like my face and voice, yeah, you can check me out in Fringe, where I am one half of the comedy puppet duo there, Pupperotica. But if you like the majestic voice, but you think I could stand to tone the face down a little bit, you can check out me in the podcast There Be Dragons as well, because Karen and I know a lot of the same people, and when one of us gets asked to do stuff, the other one does as well. I love that Brendan is now leaning into the whole turning the voice down thing. Thank you. Yeah,
I've done the voice.
I play the infamous and deadly pirate Scan Felspar und his little dragon Crush, who is actually getting bigger. Keep listening.
Josh,
Yeah.
how many R's are in that name? Because I think you're adding them
Rush.
every time.
It's HROSH. It's just you just have to.
You
It's
gotta
hard
do it
to
with
only
flair.
pronounce one.
Yeah, it's just to say crush every
Crush.
time. Like how many?
It's just Crush.
I
but it's-
cannot roll my R's to save my life, and it is a genuine tragedy.
I think you
Yeah.
can learn to roll your R's.
It's
I've
a
been-
fun thing to do.
No favorite moments for this 1/3 shot. Disappointing. My favorite moment was the discussion for the 20-minute discussion about dinosaurs. Favorite
pretty great.
dinosaurs. Pleasure to virtually meet you all, wonderful nuts, and spread chaos with just a name. My players would be proud. Salt and Buttery, you are very welcome here, and I hope to see you again, mate. It was a pleasure.
You sound delicious.
Karen, can you tell me about Ukraine?
I can tell you about
Bring
Ukraine.
the mood down a bit.
Bring the mood right down. Ukraine is in a bad place. It's full of Russians, and unlike Daria filling our podcast with a single Russian, it was not consensual. So if you have some spare dollars, there is a link in chat to the Emergency Action Appeal, which is a group of charities, not-for-profits, that are banding together to help Ukrainians fleeing the violence in aforementioned Ukraine. There are some 8 million displaced people from this conflict, and you can donate some money to help them be fooded. I nearly said fooded.
We will
fed.
eat them.
Fooded, yeah.
Fooded. To be fooded and houseded.
Just process them all. We need feed in Russia.
Yeah. So basically,
It's made of people.
Delta
I was
support
mid-drink. I was like
and
trying not to
hopefully
die.
one day return them to a more peaceful Ukraine. So yes, if you can donate, last time I checked, they'd raised nearly $2 million. The Australian government is donating a further $2 million. So we are tantalizingly close to 4 million big dollary dues to help Ukrainians who are going through some bad times.
That
And
we are.
when you're going through bad times, it's nice to feel supported.
And
So
have-
if
and
you
be
can
fooded.
support them, head on over.
Yep. You can check us out on our socials. You can check us out on our YouTube. All the episodes you may have missed, all previous 58 episodes of Humblewood are on the YouTube. And all of our, all but one of our Mano a Mano Madness on Mondays as well are up there. You can also join us on our Discord.
Josh, are you going to put this monstrosity on YouTube as well?
Oh hell yeah!
Oh wow, okay.
Well, it's got
embarrassing.
actual lore canon in it now, so it needs to go up there.
Oh,
But
I
the
thought
last
I
table
did a
talks,
sneaky.
the last
and it
table
was
talks
like-
is also up there anyway.
Oh.
The table talks are
pull
really
it.
lovely because they contain some of my favorite stuff. I
I'll
watch
play
them
my
for
cards.
fun.
I
Yeah.
just realized I never said what my favorite dinosaur was.
Yeah, what's your favorite dinosaur? You weren't at the table.
It's like the I don't know what they're called. They're like the miniature raptors. They're like the tiny version of the raptors.
Oh, the Deinonychus? No, that's
Yeah.
That's a wrap.
like the really, really little ones.
The really little
like
baby ones.
Swarm. The ones that
Yeah, the
ate
little-
the child in the second film. That one.
Look, I don't like it because of that. I just love the
The
idea
cute
of
little
being.
girl running around the beach with a beef sandwich and they just have her.
I don't remember that.
Opening of the second film.
The mi-
Spina
the-
now wants
the
a
mini
TikTok.
raptors.
God damn it, Spina. There is a smaller one. Actual velociraptors are small. No, there's
It's like an even smaller one.
Yeah, I know
It's
the
in
ones
Walking
you're
with
talking
Dinosaurs at the very beginning, the first episode of Walking with Dinosaurs. Anyway,
Tiny.
there's some guy's name raptor. Well, look that.
It's a Deinonychus.
Oh my god.
What's it
There's a
called?
microraptor.
Yeah.
Oh! Does he fight bacteria?
What was the? Did we do it live? Did we do it on stream? Oh no, yeah, I have had them on stream. The crazy witch who was combining animals with other animals, and she had a distance raptor and a time raptor. She had two velociraptors called Distance and Time.
Physics group.
Yeah, they are
Fucking
legit
hell.
called a microraptor. That's hilarious.
It's the real big one, yeah. And
They're 2 feet long and weighed only a few pounds, and that is my favorite dinosaur. I'm so glad I know it's called the microraptor. That makes it even better.
Microraptor. That's cute.
Alrighty, well, we will go and raid somebody now. Phoenixy Wacky is streaming, and Phoenix
Just like a pack of microraptors.
We'll gather together and
rush
raid.
Eat it, little girl. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll go and eat the little girl that John is. And John is currently doing, I think this is Barovia and Beyond, which is exciting. And they are currently raising money for No Kid Hungry, which is supporting basically kids getting meals in America. It's an important cause. If you have any pennies and that you don't want to go to Ukrainians to be fooded for some reason, then you could maybe consider donating to them, or both, I don't know. They've nearly raised $5,000 this week, which is incredible. So give John the love, tell him where you came from, and we will see you back here hopefully very, very soon. Guys, yeah, I'm going to start that raid up now, and we will go away from here. So, guys, thank you. Oh, yeah, we need to say thank you to Sirenscape for our music this evening. They have been providing all the music that you can hear in your ear holes. Not a sponsor, but I'm using their music, so I have to shout them out. Check them out at sirenscape.com. It is really good. It's a very useful tool for DMs. It improves the quality of your games, and there's some very useful YouTube videos about how to customize, and I make my own sound sets now. It's really fun. Cool. Alrighty. Well, we will go away. Say goodbye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Farewell, fellows.